The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Overreaction Monday, September 11th, 2023, this sports program starts now. Football is all the way back. We have an Overreaction Monday that is about to be electrifying. A Sunday slate that proved there's some teams that are a lot better than some trash-ass teams that the NFL rolled onto the field yesterday. There were some slow starts offensively. I don't think the refs were that obnoxiously terrible.
No.
Bravo to Stripes.
Right,
Bravo to the Stripes. There were some big names who made big plays. There's new faces in new places that are winning for people. We'll talk about it all today. We have Adam Schefter joining us in about 39 minutes. Hey, what's Jack Conklin, offensive lineman, Browns.
Oh, no. Brutal.
Torn ACL, MCL after the season.
Yep. Damn. T's and P's.
We thought this was the year where nobody would get injured, but here we are, just after 1 week, where one of the most important pieces to one of the most important offensive lines for a team that might be incredible this year is out. What will they do next? Also, is Kareem Hunt's stock going up in some places, most specifically the Indianapolis area, because the Colts had a running back that fumbled the ball twice and obviously wasn't doing his thing. If we have Jonathan Taylor, we probably beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, but instead, Calvin Ridley's running at a faster speed than everybody, but we're not the only ones. There's other places, I assume, that'll be looking for talent. There's a lot of free agents left. Where should people be going? Stephen A. Smith will join us in the second hour.
Here we go.
Now, he was wearing a lavender suit earlier. I do not believe he will be wearing the same thing on our particular program, but I can't wait to get his thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys. And I know he's probably talked about it for the last 4 hours or whatever, but he hasn't talked with us.
No, exactly.
Badgering him about everything he said, because he has helped sway people to think that the Dallas Cowboys have no chance of ever being good because they are just a hype machine that whenever the pressure actually comes on, boom, house of cards built on nothing, they crumble. Football gods were on their side last night.
Yes,
Big
they
time.
were.
Blocked field goal to the house. Pick to the house.
What?
Offense didn't really have to do much, even though Dak did look good.
Yeah.
And it might be the greatest defense since the 1990-something Steelers.
Ooh. Steel curtain.
40-point shutout. They're breaking all types of records. So good for the Cowboys maybe being back.
Okay. Go Cowboys.
But Stephen A. is obviously going to say the opposite of that. That's been his take for as long as takes have been taken. And then in the third hour, we're joined by
Scott Van Pelt.
first night hosting Monday Night Countdown this evening. How's he feel as he goes to MetLife Stadium for a masterpiece that is going to cap off week 1 of the NFL season? The Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets. Storylines in abundance. One of the most important ones is that it is September 11th, and this game is happening in the shadows of New York City. As a kid that grew up in Pittsburgh, and I think I speak for everybody that has grown up around the country, on September 11th, 2001, we all remember exactly where we were. We remember exactly how we felt. We remember the exact reaction afterwards when all of America seemed to come together better than ever before. So although it is a catastrophic event where we lost incredible amount of good people that were working in New York, what happened afterwards was one of the first times that I got to feel the entire country come together and say, to hell with them. And I appreciated that. I always try to remember that. And people say, you know, never forget, always remember. We should. Not just because of the terrible catastrophe that was so... Looked like it was out of a movie while you're watching.
Yeah,
like, no way that's real. Just the second one, too, with the cameras on there, this is what happened, and then boom, comes in there. I assume the PTSD is in abundance for the people that were over there, for all of us was, but also what happened afterwards. When everybody seemed to come together. We need more of that. Tonight will be a good celebration and honor to the firefighters obviously, over there in New York that ran towards the disaster while everybody else is running out. The police and the responders and everything that has happened, we will always remember. And tonight, the team from New York, Buffalo, takes on a team that represents New York City, the Jets, and it should be a beautiful thing as we got 2-point favorites on the road. The Buffalo Bills taking on the brand new Jets. I can't wait to chit-chat about it all. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. And 9-year NFL veteran, Yukon Husky.
Hell yeah.
Oh, rough weekend.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of those.
Always is.
A man who got drafted in the second round of the Patriots, played for the Panthers, played for the Colts, has played every single position. Oh, almost got that word out right. Position in the secondary. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler. D-Bud, let's start diving into what yesterday was and what it wasn't. There was a couple people that stood out. Obviously, Niners just dog walk the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow.
I mean, they looked like they were playing two different sports out there. In Pittsburgh, in Acrisure.
Whoa.
Kenny Pickett had an incredible offseason.
Yeah.
We're talking about this OTAs and training camp and practices, preseason. He's hitting all his spots. Those gloves, I don't know what they're doing, but I know they're spinning it.
That's right. That's right.
And then yesterday, not good.
Nothing.
Missing open passes.
Yeah.
Najee Harris looks like he's running in mud. I mean, there is a situation happening in Pittsburgh where it's like, was everything that we saw in the preseason and in training camp and hype, was that all a lie?
What?
Matt Canada, this offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know he's taking on the Niners. He was supposed to be better this year because last year had his hands tied because it was a rookie quarterback, didn't want to do too much.
right.
They look like the same old Steelers. The Niners look like a team that is going to maybe be better than any team has ever been in football. Brock Purdy made it look easy. Tone Diggs, big-time Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Are you panicking right now? What a nightmare. You guys stink!
Yeah, I am panicking. Normally I wouldn't because I'd say that the Niners are a really good team, which they are. They are stacked at every single position. And yeah, there was some people who had confidence, I guess, in Matt Canada coming out of the preseason. I was not one of them.
That's
Tony,
not.
Tony.
That's a lie.
When did I ever say anything good about Matt Canada?
You said this guy seems to have figured out how to call plays. Even though he's been bad since he's been calling plays in high school, this guy shouldn't be in the NFL. He seems like he's figured it out. Look at the preseason games. That's what you said.
You're right. They got dog walk. They got here, little puppies, come walk us outside. The whole game. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass.
But
I mean, and the worrisome part for me, when
Couldn't
they're
stop returns. I mean, there's a
that's
big
right.
there too.
yeah,
water breaks, they couldn't stop those.
watch your mouth.
I mean,
When there was open receivers, Kenny missed them too, which was the most deflating part to me. And then Deontay Johnson gets hurt, which, I mean, a lot of people talking about how Pickens is number one. Deontay's right there with him, and Cam Hayward got hurt. It was a bad day.
And on the flip side, the Niners look incredible. Now, I know what we saw with the Dallas Cowboys defense on Sunday Night Football, people are going to be attracted to, but just know that what the Niners did on defense with Bosa being back last year is going to carry into this year even better, it feels like. Kenny Pickett missed some wide open things, but that's probably because Kenny Pickett was thinking his whole time, is this the greatest defense ever assembled in the history of the NFL? There's all pros all over the place. The amount of money they've spent on that team, that's exactly how they are hoping they will look. $934,000 being spent on a quarterback. Everywhere else, at every important position for the Niners, they are paying top 3 in the NFL, and it showed last night. We're talking dominant from start to finish against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that normally keeps things close, D-Bud.
Yeah, Brock Purdy picked up right where he left off. And the question was coming into this year, okay, can he continue that now that defenses may have a book on him? And he did. He did everything he wanted. Christian McCaffrey, he ran the ball great. Brandon Ayuk, he's looking like wide receiver one. He's looking like a beast out there. You know, they took some of those comments in the media this week personally. And then on the defensive side of the ball, obviously lost their coordinator from last year with DeMeco Ryans taking that head coaching job in Houston, but didn't miss a beat with Steve Wilkes. Like you said, all pros on every level. They are just a dominant unit on the side of the ball.
The one in the middle there, his name's Fred. He's everywhere.
So good.
He's so fast.
Unbelievable.
And he's coming with like bad intentions.
Restless abandon.
Yeah, he is coming with bad intentions every time he makes a tackle. And then he'll also shit talk.
Oh, yeah.
So I love everything about the Niners. Is this the year they finally go? It's the injury bug
That's it.
that
That's
shows
what
up
I'm saying.
that has
Yeah.
affected the San Francisco Niners. And last year, the injury bug showed up, but then we had the answer. Oh, who is it? Mr. Irrelevant. This guy's able to make up for everybody somehow. The thing that Jimmy G has, the it factor, which has carried into the Las Vegas Raiders, and teammates love him, and he somehow wins. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo does. Oh, we found another one. What is he? $20 million cheaper. What's his name? Brock freaking Purdy. So him just being able to do that and elevate them, incredible. But even last year, as they were on the magical run, when the moment got the biggest, literally as soon as the football gods could hurt them, they did.
Yeah.
That first quarter, they just bang, 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 bang. Oh, Bosa's getting hurt? How? Well, a corner on a punt play is going to get ragdolled so much that the cleat is actually just going to slice the outside, so he won't be able to have as much get off. Oh, so you're just like kind of holding him back? Exactly. Quarterback can't move his elbow anymore.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, just first
Can't
play.
physically throw.
Fred, you know the guy that flies around? We're going to dislocate his shoulder real quick. That all happened in the first 5-6 plays. If the football gods don't try to ruin their life, it feels like this Niners team, we're on a collision course with who?
Probably the Philadelphia Eagles.
Whoa! What about the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I don't want to dive into what the Eagles did to the Patriots yesterday. I thought that was a good game. Way to go. It seems like you guys got football players.
Yeah, a lot of hope. A lot of season left as well. Feel good about it.
Connor's a big-time New England Patriot fan, and obviously Tom Brady was there. He looked,
Yeah.
he looked, right?
Spry.
Very slim.
I
Yeah.
mean, face looks younger than ever.
Of course.
Very jocked. The hair looks good. Had that jersey on. Looked like he could go put those rib protectors right back on right now.
Cut.
Did the let's what? He said,
He says it.
He said,
let's
Go.
go. But he did it with perfect bounce.
He was
He looked-
jumping.
yeah,
He looked really good.
ready to go.
And I was wondering after the first couple series, as Mac Jones was playing like Mac Jones had played last year with no offensive coordinator, actually a special teams coordinator and a defensive specialist as his offensive coordinator. Kraft's sitting real close to Tom up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tom, you're incredibly fit. You're single again. Got a little revenge body. Hey, how about one last one? We know we just had you do what was that thing?
The ringing the bell at the lighthouse. Come on, coolest thing in sports. You mean? Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I don't
I don't know.
I'll take the anvil.
Yeah,
That
the
Lucas
Anvil's
Oil.
sick.
Anvil's sick, but home field advantage for some teams is different than others.
So what was that?
Has
Has that ever existed before? So is that what Kraft was talking about? We got something unique and special. We're going to do something we've never done before. We're going to start a new tradition. Every home game, Tom Brady's going to climb up to the top of this thing, and he's going to ring the bell weirdly.
Yeah.
Weirdly ring the bell. What was that?
Well, so he was ringing it only to him. When you have a bell, you got to be bang, 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 bang.
To be
bang,
honest,
bang.
I would not have known what to do either. I've not rang many bells in my existence.
Yes, and it's the first one, so it's not as if he can go back, watch and teach tape like we know Tom Brady would on how to give the proper bell ring. But yeah, that was the first time they've ever done that.
Was that the thing? That was the big thing?
No, the big thing was what we actually talked about before. They're just going to put him directly into the Patriots Ring of Honor, I believe June 18th next year. So that was the whole entire
Big
thing.
game that day.
Middle of summer.
June? What are we doing?
I honestly, what I think with
What the
June
hell is going on up there?
I think it's so that they can actually pack. They'll pack out that entire stadium. I assume everyone
okay, got it.
who's ever played with Brady, both in
Fireworks.
Tampa and in New England, will probably be there. Bruce Arians and Bill Belichick, possibly a little face to face.
John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi.
Obvious.
John Bon, of course, John Bon's going to be there. I mean, I'm almost expecting maybe even a little runway. Maybe Giselle brings her and her friends, and they say, you know what?
Yeah, we don't know if that's
One more
right.
run.
We don't
Well,
know
you
what
never
we heard.
know.
Was she there yesterday?
I don't know. I saw the kids.
Yeah,
I saw
all the kids.
Brady bunch.
Brady
That's right.
bunch was there. The Brady Senior, Brady's mom, and Brady Senior. Obviously, he said some things about Bill and Kraft that New England didn't like too much. that he
Bygones
said.
be bygones.
Yeah, exactly. Now, hey,
Water under the bridge.
yeah, boom, and Tom is back home, and he said, "I'll see you next summer." I think he's going to be there next summer for the ceremony for sure, but also help Mac Jones take that next step, baby. I think we got a mentor on our way. In
He
Tom
actually
Brady.
is owner of the Raiders who got a big time win. I think he'll be trying to help Jimmy. Remember, he said to the boys out there, hey, go ruin this team's night.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's how Tom thinks.
Already did.
I want to ruin this entire team's life. Raiders already winning with Tom Brady around. Patriots can't get the win, though, with the big bell and Tom Brady. The Eagles will certainly be a conversation because Sirianni is an absolute dog. Jalen Hurts is awesome, and we enjoy that team with the miraculous run they went with. But in the NFC, we have to have the old TV conversation. Now we're on ESPN. People are going to think about this. that we're given a list of things to say.
Yep.
And I will say, with some of our experiences in the past with some traditional old school outlets, they have given us here's some things you need to talk about.
Of course.
Those have always been met with open arms with this particular group.
Oh, nice. Let me see
Oh,
that.
thank God.
telling
Thank
us?
you.
Okay.
That's so kind of you to take time out of your day to tell us what we should talk about. Boy, do you have a show? No. You never done a show? Oh.
Okay.
But you just study other shows. Oh, got it. So you're telling us what everybody else.
It's proven.
Oh, thank you for that. But at the top of that list, when you're talking NFL football,
Every time.
you're talking about one team and one team alone. That team's owner has an AI of himself in the stadium in which he built with some taxpayer money, but was
Yep.
being
What?
reported as not.
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys is who you talk about. Top of the hour, 15 minutes into the hour.
What?
32 minutes into the hour, and then you go ahead and wrap up that hour saying on the other side, guess what we're talking about? Dallas Cowboys.
Yep,
exactly.
And we always, out of spite of that, literally would not talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Like, that is just kind of how we would go about doing it. Because to be completely transparent, respect the Dallas Cowboys operation, their business. I think Jerry Jones, what he's been able to do with a brand is something that every other bucket of businesses, companies are trying to look at and do. The Dallas Cowboys are everywhere. They're on every single primetime game. You got fans all over the place, and every single player on their team is a star. Last night, it's a kid like, to hell with the Cowboys. Like, there's so many other good teams out there that deserve these primetime spots. But once again, 15 minutes in, 30 minutes in,
What?
top of the hour. Jones is going to hit his over for rushing. Daniel Jones has this new weapon in Darren Waller there. I think only 2 times, maybe, is what I saw. A couple times, that's it. He's going to be able to figure it out. That's what the first drive told us. Then all of a sudden, Graham Gano, who missed 3 kicks all year, blocked kick, house call the other way.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's some momentum. Then the boys get back on the field for defense. We're buzzing around. Then just boom, 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 boom. The Cowboys train ran right over the New York Giants in every single phase of football. Now, I don't want to do the question of what the hell's going on with Daboll and Wink.
Yeah.
How the hell does this even happen? What are we
Weird.
doing? And then the end, who's supposed to reach the number 2 that didn't block, that's first field goal of the season.
Yeah.
Like, you at least got to get the right reps. How does that get blocked? So special teams, they stink as well. So it's like offense, terrible. Defense, boat race.
Yep.
Special teams, inept.
Yeah.
I don't want to dive into what the hell happened to the Giants, and let's assume they'll bounce back. But on the flip side, the Cowboys were awesome
So
to
good.
watch. And they're going to get primetime games again. That dude right there is a freak show. They got a lot of them on that team. D-But, you love what the Cowboys are doing.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, a lot of what they do on defense starts with 11. You saw how much they moving them around, line them over the
He was on the bench a couple
Put
times.
them on the edge.
What was
I mean,
that?
smart. Rest them. Just put them in there. And that was at the point
They're
of the
up
game.
by
They're down a
25
couple
already, probably.
possessions.
No, it was 2 scores. It was second down, too. He wasn't in there, and I saw him
Yeah.
stand on the sideline like this. And I'm like, why don't we have that guy on the field?
Excuse me.
Guy out there.
And then all of a sudden, the next play, I think he.
He impacts every pass play. But like you said, it started out kind of good for the Giants. They got the ball. Saquon had some good runs. My first tweet of this game was like, hey, Giants O-line moving some furniture early.
What you
And then
said?
that
You said
block
real racist, right? You said Vanilla Vic.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
what
that
I
what
said.
you
Yeah,
said?
you did.
Did you make that up?
Yeah, you're the
Ab-
Vanilla Vic
absolutely-
guy.
No,
You
absolutely
said-
not.
That's you.
Absolutely
Sure?
not.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that term. Daniel
Oh,
Jones
RG3
won.
said it last week.
Yeah.
Runs for.
I thought you said
You heard of Bob Griffin?
Didn't you say that?
Nah. I might have
I
used
could
that
have
one.
sworn.
Yeah, I think you.
D-But.
Yeah, I
Could have
think you
sworn it
did.
was you.
Take some credit.
I think
yeah.
so.
All right. Well, Vanilla Vic, he didn't show up last night. They needed him.
Early, though, he did.
They needed him, but yeah, that offensive line. I mean, they got their ass kicked from jump. It was a manhandling. You don't see that, especially when you think of the New York Football Giants. You think of a physical team, and that's their identity. That's who they need to be to win this year. Have some balance, because if Daniel Jones is dropping back, down by a couple possessions, that's not the recipe for this team. But Dallas, I mean, they did everything they wanted.
Daboll had that New York Police Department hat on.
Yep.
And then we think about him walking out of that blue F-150.
Yep.
What?
And then
What?
Wink Martindale, the teams that he's had in Baltimore, the defenses he has, just dogs through and through. You assume after last year they would have made a big step. They just missed it completely. What a terrible beginning. Hey, Bruce, obviously coastal elitist of the crew here,
Yep.
big-time Giants fan. Bruce, what happened? You guys suck. How'd that happen?
Just absolute MetLife massacre. Probably one of the worst O-line performances in the history of the NFL. Andrew Thomas actually got injured on that blocked field goal, a little injury to the insult. Coaching, execution, all of it pretty terrible.
Yeah, so like I know the biggest jump is from week 1 to week 2.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Some of these teams, though, they're going to have to climb a mountain before next week. They don't even look like
40 to shit.
40
opening day.
Yeah, opening night at home.
Every
like
side of the ball.
At home. And Dak Prescott, they made him do an interview right before the game. They normally talk to coaches there. It's like a fake little give and take. How you doing? None of the coaches really give anything because in their mind, they're already on the game. But I appreciate the fact that we get the asset because there's some things that maybe we can dabble. Obviously, with the Dallas Cowboys, the starting quarterback is going to be the one that gets interviewed. In the middle of a rainstorm, they're asking him questions. He's clearly zoned in. Not the person who's interviewing him fault. But I thought to myself, like, in that moment, Dak has the weight of the world of the NFL on his shoulders. All offseason, people were talking about how terrible he was. Remember, Diggs called him a bitch. Diggs called him a bitch in training camp, and everybody's like, oh, my God. You got to Trevon.
No. Not or Stephanie.
That's football.
No, agreed completely. But I'm just saying, the only things that were coming out were this guy's throwing
picks,
finding a new way to throw an interception every single day in training camp. Look at this pick he just threw. Look at this pick he just threw. Oh, his own teammates are calling him a bitch. They don't believe in him. And it's like bad. One game he was calling plays. It went well. They were talking about that quarterback maybe being the quarterback of the Cowboys. He's the one calling the plays. Then he has to do an interview right before the game. He has no idea how that's going to go. And then they go out and just boat race the Giants. That had to feel so good last night for Dak Prescott on that flight home from New York to Dallas.
But then it's hilarious because you look at it after the game and like it doesn't matter and it's X. People are going to say whatever, but like people are shitting on him because he only threw for 169 yards and the offense didn't look as good. It's like they won 40-0. Like he's the only guy today who's waking up and his team looked unbelievable, beat the hell out of who they were playing on primetime, and people are still saying like, this guy can't win a Super Bowl with these guys. You kidding me? He stinks.
Yeah, I love the fact, though, that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be good because we're going to be forced to watch them.
Yeah.
We're going to be forced to hear about them, which means we're going to be forced to talk about them, which we do apologize. But we will talk about teams that are great. And they were great last night.
Yes.
So congrats to the Cowboys and all their fans.
Go, Big Mike.
Field goal block, every special teams coordinator is going to show that.
Yeah.
That was textbook. Safety jumping through. Scoop and score, guy in position, scoops it up, takes it to the crib.
Go back to the beginning of that thing. Go back to the beginning.
Everybody does this.
All right,
drill.
so stop. So can you put it up here? Put it back here. Okay. So this is how this goes. Turn this one on here, yep. Okay, so eyes to one, but let hips block two. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the humans. 1, hip, 2, inside 1, 3. So this guy goes out to get 1. Buddy just scoots right the hell through here. Should have eyes on 2 here. This is where most people come from.
Yep.
Far side of the field. Usually this is where the block is coming through, skip through. So all this guy's being told is eyes to 2, eyes to 2, eyes to 2. And then first field goal, eyes straight down. I think he got hurt. Is that what Bruce just said? Did he get hurt on this play? I didn't follow up on that. Or later in the game.
Thought he got
The
hurt.
left tackle.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas left tackle.
So not that guy.
No.
Okay, good. That's so yeah, no. I mean, this is just yeah. He's probably not going to be there. And if he is there, that is where like first night for a field goal team, all you're trying to showcase if you're an offensive lineman, and it's the worst job of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Blocking for a field goal is the absolute worst. And I played soccer growing up, but come from an NFL town, so I knew football, but I didn't know it like from a team level. So my first time going into football culture, obviously I'm kicking the field goals, and I'm hearing what coaches are telling these offensive linemen, and they're like, hey, die slowly. Like that is the technique of blocking a field goal. You're gonna die, just do it at a slower rate, please. There's the cross, obviously, they have people do where they just stand like this, and somebody just runs their helmet directly into their chest, and you're supposed to fall slow. You fall too fast, he can still block, you see. So it is a miserable, terrible, god-awful thing to have to block for. So I got nothing but respect for all the people that sign up for it. But in week 1, if you are the weak link, the next 6 weeks, everything is coming right at you. So if old buddy doesn't get it figured out, he's going to learn quick. And yeah, that's a terrible way to start it for Graham Gano. 2 missed kicks. That should not count as a miss, though. I think that is kind of a stat problem in there.
Yeah,
His
blocks
miss,
are
though,
not their fault.
was not normal Graham.
Yeah, it was very weird. There was a lot of weird misses yesterday.
Yeah, well, the
Couple
Giants,
fat balls being kicked.
Giants in general, though, like this feels like a team after last year where it's like, hey, they're going to come out, they're going to be a tough out no matter what, no matter who they're playing. And then they just got boat raced. And it wasn't close from start to finish. At any point, was it like, oh, the Cowboys might give this one up?
Let's go to South Florida.
Okay.
I am so jocked up for this Miami Dolphins football team. Last year, when Tua was healthy, remember? That was the entire conversation about this Miami Dolphins team. Wilkins, defensive lineman, absolute stud. Holding in, is he going to be there? He's not going to be. Yeah, he's there. Got a sack yesterday. Okay, so he is all the way back. The other conversation was Tua did jiu-jitsu. He learned how to fall.
That's right.
So that means if Tua is able to fall through his jiu-jitsu
Guru, yeah.
Sensei.
Yep.
Sensei.
If he learns how to fall and they put a new helmet on him, if he's healthy and on the field, they're going to be incredible. Conversation stopped right there.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill, you start chit-chatting about him. Oh, he's an actual cheetah. He's racing against humans. This dude is at a different level, but conversation stops. You don't really dive in. Tua is on pace to have 7,922 yards this year. Now, I know that that's just taking one massive game and then doing math simply on your phone and projecting a record that has withstood the test of time in the NFL for most amount of pass yards. But you look at that McDaniel offense, and the conversation was, can they run, can they run, can they run? It don't matter. These dudes are open all the time, and Tua can put a ball into a keyhole if he had to. Him and Tyreek Hill, since the very beginning, have been a dynamic duo that have been on the same page. It's impossible to cover Tyreek Hill. He would be able to get open in an actual phone booth. But now Tua and he have a year under their belt. McDaniel has another year of comfort. Tua's seemingly in better shape than he's been, but mentally, he's sharp as a tack. I loved watching the Miami Dolphins. This one, he's gone.
Yep.
Touchdown.
Dart.
Touchdown. How you doing? Keep it moving. Obviously, this one went up into the 70s in the amount of points that were scored. It was an instant classic in Los Angeles. But this Dolphins team weren't getting much respect in the offseason or chatter. And then as soon as you watch them again, you're immediately reminded, oh, yeah, they have a jungle cat as a wide receiver who can catch everything. They got a quarterback who can put the ball on a dot. And then once you start looking around at all the other pieces, it's like, wait a minute, is this Dolphins team going to go? D, but you've been on their bandwagon for a bit.
Yeah.
This has to be the most exciting you've been in some time. Well,
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, 37
we know that's
years.
not true.
When it was called Joe Robbie Stadium down there. But anyway.
Okay.
And
You drove by.
You know what?
We get it.
What makes this game even better is that was Tua's worst game last year when he played against the Chargers. Like on prime time, Tua had a terrible game. Tyreek Hill had one big play that game, but besides that, he stunk. So for him to show up after this all season, like you said, with all the talk and come out here and throw for 466, and it was a game where he couldn't take his foot off the pedal. He had to keep answering, keep answering, and he did that. I mean, the throws he was making, the anticipation, it made me remember, like, it was a point where we were talking about tank for Tua, and now he just reminded everybody, like, yeah, I'm still that dude. And what Mike McDaniels does in this offense, I mean, sometimes you got Tyreek Hill lined up as like a wing, a halfback, he's getting out. But when he's lined up out here and corners are still, stop pressing this dude, okay? You cannot press.
Let's look into it here. Let's go into it here. Okay, so Tyreek Hill's down here at the bottom, obviously. And there is, it is 1st and 10-2 in the alumni section. Alumni section, 40 to 40.
Yep.
Okay, this is where all the big money is at on the sidelines. In college, it's where all the alumni sits. This is where shots are taken. This is fun time.
Oh, yeah.
This is every quarterback can put a ball into a garbage can in this particular length of pass to the end zone, let alone if you have the greatest deep threat since Randy Moss on the outside in Tyreek Hill. What is the defense here?
Well, right now I can't see the safeties, but we are impressed, man. And right here, you don't even get a hand on him. But even if you do get a hand on Tyreek, he's so strong. Everybody always talks about his speed, but he's strong. He's quick. He makes contested catches. And, I mean, that's right in rhythm. So that's the one thing. When you're a quarterback and you're practicing with this guy or you're in walkthroughs, he's moving at, you know this, Pat, guys moving at a completely different speed on game day. So you can see that Tua is now getting used to that speed and hitting 10 in stride. And, I mean,
watch the shimmy off the – watch Tyreek shimmy here off the line.
Like, you rarely see a guy that quick and fast, either one or the other. He's gone. It's over with.
So, yeah.
It's over with.
Bang.
Oh, JC.
Gone.
It's over. Just like that. Tua finds it, though, knows it, and puts the ball where it needs to be. This Dolphins team, 400, how much? 466 yards?
66, 215.
I don't think he was sacked once either in 46 attempts or whatever it was.
That's week one. You know what I mean? That is week one. What would they be 5-6 weeks from now? Who will become a star that emerges on that offense that we don't even know about? This McDaniel character, I saw he did an interview with Jeff Darlington. So I didn't know this, but like 2001, 2004, he played at Yale.
Yep.
So he's a little bit older than us. Then he was coaching maybe 20 years. Oh, I don't know how long ago. 20 years? He was in Houston with Kubiak. And he showed up late to a 6 a.m. meeting like twice. Kubiak fired him pretty much.
Damn.
And it was at that moment where he like locked in focus-wise. This dude's up at 2:45 every morning.
Jeez.
What?
Yeah, that's what I saw in the thing.
Wow.
I don't know if it was just for the Darlington piece or if that's actually every single day of his life. And I don't know how he manages that, if that's the case.
Looking at that shit he putting on film, I believe him.
Legit.
Does he go to bed right after supper, like 5:45 p.m.? Or?
Like an old?
Yeah, but he's got to watch film, right, at night, too. I assume he's
That's
probably
what I
just
mean.
able to operate without a lot of sleep.
Might watch film while he
Yale
sleeps.
guy though, he could be like Beautiful Mind, Beth Harmon, like just seeing film on his, the top of his.
Well, so she was taking hallucinogens?
Yeah, she was.
Acid, right?
Is that what,
I wouldn't put that
don't know if it
past.
was
I
acid.
wouldn't put that past him, to be honest with you.
Who, McDaniel?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that is the thing that he's got going on is he's got a little extra concoction he puts into his soul right
They don't
before he
test
goes
coaches,
to.
right?
I don't think so, no. That is a problem in the history in the NFL, by the way.
Especially with the Dolphins, too.
That is actually.
Hey, relax.
Let's go to the Green Bay Packers.
Great O-line
Y'all,
coach. Great
oh,
O-line
my
coach.
God.
Yeah.
Great.
They'd come into the game fired up.
What's that?
Remember the Dolphins O-line back then? They were coming in
All right, let's
ripping it.
let's talk about the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Okay? Because even Brett Favre put out a tweet this morning.
That's right.
That said, wow, Jordan Love has really done the part. And Brett Favre is a guy who has said a lot of things. Brett Favre is a guy who has done a lot of things. One of them being start this incredible lineup for Packers quarterbacks that has gone now 4 generations, seemingly. Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to who's next? Oh, it's the guy that they traded up for. Jordan Love, here's to a great start and wishing you much success this season and to a long career. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Here's to it. Here's to it, Brett. It's a compliment. Don't sue.
For now.
Anyways, Brett to Aaron, who's next? Oh, this guy who got traded up for after an NFC Championship loss, right in the middle of an MVP run by the quarterback. Oh, we're gonna draft your future replacement. We're not gonna go get somebody on defense to stop the San Francisco 49ers from running all over us in the NFC Championship. We're not gonna get you a first-round wide receiver that you've never had pretty much as a quarterback here as a Green Bay Packer. We're not gonna do something that makes us immediately better so that we can get over the hump and go to a Super Bowl and hopefully get another ring here in lovely Lambeau. Instead, they trade up draft a quarterback that none of us really knew anything about. That immediately started a ripple effect of a scorched earth tour from the quarterback, seemingly, although there was a lot of other stuff that took place with other players that were towards the end of their Green Bay Packers career that got brought up to light and re-remembered. And Jordan Love was dropped in a position where he had no winning, literally no winning. Publicly, people felt as if they had to take sides, even though Jordan Love didn't choose for this entire situation to take place. All he did, though, seemingly behind the scenes, is go to work, earn the respect of his teammates and his coaches. And yesterday, he got a chance to put it on display for the first real time as the guy for the Green Bay Packers. And I'll be damned. The Green Bay Packers, after 4 quarters of real football with this guy leading the team, and I know he played last year, but I'm talking about in team meeting rooms, he's the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
In the cafeteria, he's the starting quarterback. In all of these strategy and scheme meetings, he's the starting quarterback. Marketing, he's the starting quarterback. This was his first time to really prove. Look at this hilarious one-legged Dirk Nowitzki to Aaron Jones touchdown. Yeah. All the boxes were checked yesterday for Jordan Love.
Yep.
As a Packers fan, I know you had optimism and hope that he'd be great. Not everybody did, but you did throughout this entire thing. Yesterday, you had to go 6 to midnight about what you saw out of the Love kid.
Absolutely. I'm just ecstatic. I mean, a lot of people wanted to say, hey, they played the Bears, and let's make no mistake about it. The Bears stink.
They are so bad at football.
The Bears
First
are
overall pick.
really bad. Really, really bad.
Tone Diggs' point there does get forgotten because they traded out of there so early.
Right.
Like so early,
Good idea.
the buzz machine didn't even happen. They earned the number 1 overall pick. There was a lot of bad football teams last year.
For sure.
The Chicago Bears were the worst football team in the NFL last year. And Justin Fields, it's going to get loud. I know people aren't going to enjoy the conversations getting loud about Justin Fields. Quay Walker should be a punt returner. The guy literally ran right in somebody's chest and said, okay, I'll go another way, and scores a touchdown. Awesome to watch. Bears stink. That needs to be understood.
For sure.
But
also, like, this is still a rivalry game. Like, you can't look at all the stuff that Rodgers did. Like, we know the success Rodgers had against the Bears, but, like, this is Jordan Love's first game with all that stuff you guys mentioned. And it was just a lot of the little things. Like, patient in the pocket. He was in the first quarter. They only scored 10 points in the first half, but like he picked up a couple big third down conversions. They didn't have Christian Watson, who's supposed to be his number 1 weapon. I think a lot of people thought, the Packers, because their O-line looked great. I thought they'd run it 50 times. Like, Love ran the show, and he threw 2 touchdown passes to Dobbs, who looks like they have a really good rapport and chemistry already. It was just kind of everything coming together. And again, like a young guy, like, he wasn't always looking to scramble when things broke down. Like, he was going through his reads, going through his progressions. He just looked so comfortable out there. His completion percentage wasn't great, but, like, for the first time seeing him in a game that actually matters, like, I almost just let one slide because I am very excited. He's a guy. He is. And I think Packers fans should be very excited.
I saw somebody, he quote tweeted, because I said Anthony Richardson's a guy. That's good news. And I saw some nerd quote tweet it for the New York Times. Seems like a good guy, but he's not in the football world. And he said, he's sick of people being described as a guy, a dude, or a dog. It's like, well, not everybody's a guy, a dude, and a dog.
No.
So whenever those things get labeled upon somebody, that is a massive deal. It's like sheriff, captain, admiral, lieutenant. Okay, there's a lot of things up there. Labeled a dog, it's like, okay, need this guy. A guy means, hey, here we go.
Legit.
Yeah.
This guy is probably going to be on the front of season tickets, packages. This guy's going to put your team on prime time. This guy is going to bring happiness into everybody's life. He is a guy. That is what Jordan Love has proven. Not just in this game, but I think in the training camp, in OTAs, the way his teammates have talked about him. These teammates have gone out of their way to say positive things about how he acts behind the scenes. And it's like, players obviously have to stick up for their teammates. Okay, teammates aren't just going to bury their teammates, especially if it's a quarterback. But the way guys say stuff is what you got to listen to. Like, are they just saying, "Oh, good player, really good work ethic," or are they coming out and saying like, he commands the huddle, everybody has respect for him. When he walks in the locker room, like everybody says, like, what is Jordan talking about? Like, he is appreciated over here. His teammates were all saying that in unison. And then after the game, before he does his interview with EA, I forget who it was. It was a defensive player came over.
Rashawn Gary.
Rashawn Gary came over and was basically like, talk your shit. Like, they are all on his side, and they all have seen how his life has been since coming into the NFL. What a story out of week 1, Jordan Love being a dude.
It was so loud that it got to the point where we almost turned on it. It was like, hey, this is so loud that maybe they're trying to build this guy up and he's not that good, but actually turns out he is that good. And the LaFleur offense. Like, we had this whole conversation about how, hey, with Aaron Rodgers, the LaFleur offense is one thing, but let's see how it is with Jordan Love. I mean, they scored 31 points.
I think it's more of the LaFleur offense, right?
That's
what we all kind of understand.
Sure. Absolutely, yes.
And he's been in the system literally since
the entire time.
Since he's gotten there. And also, you see him pick up some stuff from, a Mount Rushmore quarterback.
Bingo.
The way he handles like him just being so comfortable,
He's got a
one-legged.
Yeah.
Like, and I assume he always had that. But whenever you have a quarterback in front of you for a few years, and he's like, no, this is how you act. Like, not every quarterback's going to do that.
No.
Like, I love just how free he felt.
Yeah.
And that dude right there, Aaron Jones, hey,
So good.
he's always been good.
Yeah.
Get him the ball.
What do you have, 5 touchdowns against Dallas Cowboys?
Yep.
And that was the night that we all kind of were introduced to him.
Yeah.
He needs to get the rocket all times for you guys.
For sure.
Are they doing that? I didn't get to see every single snap.
He was kind of splitting carries a little bit with A.J. Dillon yesterday. But, yeah, pass game, running game, like he should. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's the Packers and he was always kind of overshadowed by Rodgers too. But he needs to be touching the ball 35
Don't love that.
times a game.
Yep, that's the word.
Yeah.
Don't love that.
That was
Now,
tough.
after this, they would have him on the sideline getting stretched, and a
Yeah.
drone would fly over top, or the sky cam would fly over top, and he actually just made like a face to the camera. So I don't think he thinks it's that bad.
I don't think so either.
He would know too.
Yep.
Yeah, the muscle is something that only the person who's going through it can feel it. So he seemed to be in good spirits. Also, Dobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one.
I think so. I mean, it just same deal. Like he kind of he's been behind Christian Watson because Christian Watson got drafted higher. But even Rodgers last year when he first got there was like, this kid's special. If he keeps working, like he can do things that other guys can't do. Only had 4 catches yesterday, but scores 2 touchdowns, has a big 3rd down conversion. Like if he can stay healthy, because that was kind of his thing last year, as he's a little banged up, he's going to be very good.
Darius, what'd you see from Jordan Love that made you think he was a guy? Because remember, Darius Slay, after his first couple snaps with the against the Philadelphia Eagles, Darius Slay was like, Darius Slay, by the way, pick 6 yesterday.
Yeah,
Let's go.
He played Slay.
Great start for that Slaymaker doing his thing. Friend of the program, also has his own great podcast. But he came on the show and he said, like, hey, I'm not saying he's there, but there's a lot of things he did there that was like, he can spin that thing.
Yeah,
That's what Darius Slay said about Jordan Love. He said, nobody wants to say this guy's a Mount Rushmore quarterback already because he's already had enough pressure put on him to have to fill those steps. But Darius Slay was like, he looked real comfortable against some other quarterbacks that we've seen. You saw him yesterday for the first time in real action. You saying, hey, I'm all in on the Love train.
I'm all in on the Love era, man. And this might be 3 for 3 right now. I know it was overreaction Monday, but he looked damn good. And maybe we got to stop questioning the Packers' method to their madness.
So
man.
I did, loudly.
You draft a quarterback when you
That's
don't
on
need
me.
one.
So did I.
That's when you draft them when you don't need one. And you wait, and then when they're ready, you throw them in there. But he looked good, but the composure, like Ty spoke on, the composure, well, not only the big plays and the touchdowns, but being able to step up in the pocket on the 3rd down, go through your reads, okay, it's a high level. We saw Anthony Richardson throw an interception like that. You got a levels route. Where's the defender? Is he high? Throw it low. If he's low, throw it high. Seen him go through those reads, and then that back shoulder fade down there to Romeo Dobbs. It looked very Rodgers to Devontae-ish to me, and it's important to develop that rapport with your guy. 3rd and medium, red area. You'll probably see it tonight with Rodgers and Wilson.
Love that.
At certain points in the game where, hey, I'm going to my guy. Everybody knows it. We're going to make it happen.
Full flex yell in the face of the DB that you just caught a ball on. Love it.
Big dog catch.
Love everything about it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw a lot of that yesterday that they didn't throw a flag on either. I like it.
That's what we're talking
Good
about.
start.
The refs are pretty good. Let's pivot from this conversation to a guy who knows everything about everything. Senior NFL insider for ESPN. Brand new, pretty good friend of the program.
Yeah.
We'll see how that. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter. Shefty, how are you,
Hello,
pal?
Pat. Already getting rid of me before we get started today. I'm all fired up. We got week 1. We got MetLife tonight. Let's go, baby.
Hey, Shefty, we're lucky that you're joining us, and we appreciate you. I know you have a big day and a big evening. We can't wait to watch as the Bills and the Jets clash. Let's go back to yesterday, though. We saw your report on Jack Conklin, torn ACL, torn MCL for the Cleveland Browns offensive lineman. Is there any others that we've learned about here throughout the day, or any other conversations taking place that we need to know about as this week moves into week 2?
Well, injuries, you got Deontay Johnson. He's getting an MRI this morning on his hamstring. Greg Dulcich had a hamstring injury yesterday. Aaron Jones had a hamstring injury. A lot of hamstrings yesterday, right? And I think you've seen doctors over the years do studies, and I think typically week 1, we get a lot of soft tissue injuries, and week 2 and 3, it seems like there are more injuries than normal. Then it calms down, dips a bit, and then picks up again at the end of the year. You hate to see it at any time. But there is a little bit of data behind some of this, and you can see when some of these injuries are going to increase, and these upcoming weeks will probably be pretty unfortunate for some guys, and you just hope that the damage will be minimal. That's just how it works. It's a brutal sport.
Yeah, and going full speed for the first time in a long time. Not that you're saying you're not in training camp, but game speed's a little bit different. Thankful that nobody had the full Kevin Hart need a wheelchair.
That would have been tough.
Going full speed. But also the hammies are things that are delicate because like a bad one can be a while, a not so bad one can be quick. Aaron Jones, we saw, he gave a hand gesture to the sky cam that was over top of him while he was getting stretched post hammy. We assume that one's not bad. Any of the other one is his bad, or any of the other ones already been diagnosed?
Well, Aaron Jones said yesterday he felt like he could have come back into the game. That's what he felt like. Now, again, that seems to be that it's not terrible, so that's encouraging for him. We'll see what the tests today's show, Deontay Johnson was carted off. So that didn't look like a good one. Greg Dulcich didn't come back in Denver. That didn't look like a good one. Obviously, you saw Jack Conklin go down in pain. Brutal. Anthony Richardson banged his knee yesterday.
Yeah, twice.
Fine. No tests, no nothing. No, he's okay.
There we go.
Seems to be okay. Look, you hear sometimes guys are okay, and then all of a sudden there's a test, and torn quad, torn Achilles, like J.K. Dahn. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So the initial reports on Anthony Richardson, positive. Seemed like bone bruise, playing on that field, not easy. He's got to learn to somehow, some way, try to take a few less hits than he took yesterday.
Yeah, he took two big ones. I mean, early he took one. He was slow to get up. We were all kind of watching because we were lucky to be there. And every step he's taking, we're all watching just to see. In Indianapolis, loved his debut. But when we see him get hit and then shaken up, we're like, all right, is he okay? That's the first big hit we saw him.
Right.
And then next play, somebody comes hot. I think safety comes shooting through. He stands right in the pocket, throws the ball around the guy, and takes a massive shot right to his face. It's like, okay, he's good. And then end of game, he gets hit again, and he's hurt. It's like, this dude needs to be healthy because he can be electrifying. And he also has the greatest spike in football right now. Here's the last one that did him in with less than a minute left, and Gardner Minshew came in to a chorus of cheers. But it was a big shot, and I think the knee thing happened earlier.
Yep.
First,
that was the play that he aggravated it on. That was the second time that he hurt the knee. It was bruised earlier in the game, got aggravated there at the end, didn't finish. Obviously, Gardner Minshew came on, but again, my understanding is no tests necessary. Bruised knee, and he's okay.
Okay, so obviously the Colts are in on this conversation, but there's probably many other teams as well. Connor has a question for you, Schefter.
Yeah, Schefter, a lot of free agents still out there. Now that the season started and some of those guys didn't sign with teams, can we expect like a Kareem Hunt to possibly come to Indianapolis or even Baltimore now that J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles? And are there any other guys that we should have on our radar who might get signed this week or next week?
Well, again, this is when now the contracts are no longer guaranteed. So people will go ahead and sign players that they were considering before. And I think Kareem Hunt is waiting for a certain opportunity. He wants the right situation and the right price. And we'll see whether or not that comes along right now. His agent had claimed that he had 4 different offers from 4 teams. We know he had interest from the Saints and the Colts. I'm trying to think of other veterans off the top of my head, like the Eagles. Nakobe Dean is going to miss about a month with a foot injury that he suffered yesterday. And they're signing Rashaan Evans from the former Titans first-round draft pick who was in Atlanta last year to their practice squad, and they'll have the ability to promote him if they feel like he's ready. This is what it is. It's like a war of attrition. It starts now. You think everything's going to be fine. All of a sudden you start losing guys, and it just keeps happening every single week.
That J.K. Dobbins, man, we were such big fans of his.
Yeah,
he came back last year. Remember, he came back after a knee injury, and he was literally dragging his leg while outrunning people.
Yep.
So, that whole thing was happening, and now he's back to being fully healthy. It's like, he's going to change games. He did, scores, gets in the end zone, then boom, Achilles. That's it.
Well, there's a few things about this that are disappointing and upsetting. Right, here's a guy that's in the last year of his deal. He had, if you remember, early in camp, held in for a new contract. Didn't get the deal done. Plays yesterday. There have been talks and there have been hopes that maybe something could get done. And obviously the two sides could not come to an agreement to get a deal done. And then he goes down and he ruptures Achilles. And it's just sickening to watch that. You feel so bad for the kid.
It's not fun.
In a situation like that, to hurt himself with so much at stake and so much on the line. I mean, it's just a huge loss. Personally, I know, it's just bad.
Agreed completely. That's your business too. I don't know how you're able to cipher through all of that. Hey, this guy's career is very much in question. Hey, this guy no longer lives in the house that he's lived in for 15 years. That's your life. Happy you do it, not us. He was also one of the bright spots of that game yesterday. Texans-Ravens was tough watch. But Lamar gets the win. They keep it moving. We assume the best Baltimore football is ahead, even though they lose one of their best players in J.K. Dobbins. Speaking of best players on teams, there's 2 of them over in Kansas City. Go ahead, D-Buck.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of trying to get a deal done, any update out there in Kansas City with Chris Jones and Kansas City getting a potential deal done? And then Travis Kelce with his injury. Any update with that knee injury?
he's got the bone bruise, and it wasn't as bad as they thought when they did the test. And they're hoping that with the 10 days off and coming off a loss, I think that's even more motivation to get him back, that he's going to be out there Sunday for a big game in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. So my sense and guess would be that they'll probably get Kelsey back this week. That's what I think. Chris Jones, it's just been a stalemate. Now, the thing that I learned last week that was interesting is that on the morning that Nick Bosa signed, I was told from both sides, there are huge gaps.
Oh, boy.
And then the deal gets done 6 hours later. So my point there is,
probably got
is
bigger.
like, it doesn't really matter what anybody says. Chris Jones at some point is going to get this deal done, and it's probably going to be rather quick and sudden, whether that's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, whenever. All the talk about being apart, you could close the gap pretty quick. I think that's what I learned.
Well, I wish that would have got done in that suite. That would have been a cool story. That would have been a really cool story on opening night, banner night. We also get a deal done.
He had both his agents flanked, at each side. They were like his agents and his bodyguards there.
Oh, yeah, we saw the Katz brothers. We saw the Katz brothers in there. They look good, huh? They knew what was going on. The one, Jason. Yeah, Jason on the left. There was one time they were showing him, and he's, these are agents, so they're always something, right? He's down there, and I think somebody told him we're on TV, and he, we are unified. We are unified. We are here to support the team, and hopefully, Katz is wearing this guy.
Yeah, they are.
This dude right here is the man. I really enjoy him as a human, and then obviously on the other side is his brother. He does work with a lot of people that obviously you know. Hopefully, they're able to settle this thing and keep it moving. Speaking of a deal getting done in perfect timing, Disney and Spectrum, right?
Let's go.
What do you know about that, Schefty? That deal get done? Did you go in there and say, hey, anybody had football? Is that what you said?
My sources tell me that a deal is getting closer there. Well, and I say that because
hold on.
Thought it was a done deal.
Schefter, get the deal done.
Deal's not done.
Schefter, I want to see Monday Night Football.
I spoke to him like, you guys got to get the McAfee Show on in these homes right now, right away. Let's end this. It's sort of like Chris Jones and the Katz brothers. There's too much at stake for both. Let's get the deal done.
That's right. And I like everything you said with passion, just not our program. We should not utilize our program as the pitch there. Congrats to... You said it's close? Because I read it was...
It was reported that it's done.
Yeah, Schefty. I heard it was done.
Well, then obviously my sources here are very bad.
Oh, no. Sorry, you're not in the TV negotiation. You're in the NFL. Back to the NFL. Tone has a question for you.
I'll stick to sports.
Yeah,
stick to sports, Matt, not business.
Smart.
Shefty, do we know, is Joe Burrow 100% healthy? Was that just a tough game in the rain, a little bit of rust from not practicing during the preseason? Jim Schwartz coming over as the Browns DC. What happened yesterday with the Bengals offense?
How about all those things, right? If you look at his record in Cleveland, it has not been good. He's played poorly there. It's been one spot. You get a new defensive coordinator in there who's going to be really aggressive against him and challenge him to run when his calf definitely is better, but it's not fully functional. And so you combine all those factors together, and he doesn't really go through training camp. Now, that's not unusual for Joe Burrow. He didn't go through training camp his first year due to COVID. He didn't go through training camp his second year due to rehabbing the torn ACL. He didn't go through training camp last year due to the appendectomy. Now this year, obviously had the calf early in camp, didn't go through camp. And if you look back, he struggled early on, and then he lights it up. The guy's a total stud. He'll bounce back, but that was a day that the Bengals would rather forget.
Yeah,
last year, weren't they 0-2 last year? And he's like, to everybody, his own version of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, right? Like, oh, we're fine. Don't worry. It's all going to be good. And it was.
Yeah, and he kind of said that same thing after the game. And he said these conditions these elements were certainly something. I think it was coming down. Cleveland seemed to handle it well, though. They might have a ball club over there in the AFC North that has a lot of question marks all of a sudden. Last question here, going into this evening's Monday Night Football from Ty.
Yeah, Shefty, I know it's been reported that Dalvin Cook is probably going to get the lion's share of the carries tonight, but how much of Breece Hall are you expecting us to see? And also, I know Lazard has a banged-up shoulder a little bit from earlier in the week. Is he expected to go tonight as well?
I haven't heard that Lazard's not going. And as for the running backs, I think the idea here is that they always have wanted to ramp up Breece Hall as the season goes on. And the idea was to get Dalvin more work early on. As it was told to me, this is, with all due respect to everybody else, this is Breece Hall's team. That is how they feel. That is how they think. And I think as the season goes on, he's going to get more and more work. But you're not going to see that early on in the season. So with that in mind, you'll see more of Dalvin Cook tonight. It's only logical, even though he's coming off his own shoulder surgery, the torn labrum, but he's healthy enough to be out there, and I think he'll wind up getting more work than they want to unleash Breece Hall, but they're going to be smart and careful about unleashing Breece Hall.
Everybody has a plan until Dalvin Cook goes for like 600 yards the first few weeks.
Yeah, right.
You know, and then we're all going to be wondering, like, is Breece Hall ever going to get the opportunity to do what he did last year?
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Okay, I love to hear that. Good, because he was electrifying last year immediately upon coming into the NFL. Anything else we're missing from the night, Shefty?
DeMar Hamlin's not going to play inactive. A question of numbers there.
Okay.
He'll be inactive, and they want to keep up Cam Jones, another guy, and so it's a special team safety kind of issue. So DeMar Hamlin won't be out there tonight. You know, Pat, I drove down to Lower Manhattan this morning, and the mood here on a day like this always is incredibly somber. And you can really feel it in the air. When you go downtown, and I was by the Freedom Tower this morning, all the streets are closed off, and there's policemen everywhere. And it's the mood here. It's hard to describe unless you're actually here and have lived through that day in this particular city. And so I cannot even imagine the emotion that's going to be in that building tonight on top of everything else. And if we're going to tie them together, like, you know, New York is bummed out about the Giants. You know, the Jets have to come to the rescue of the city and kind of lift the city's spirits a little bit because, you know, this is just such a sad day on so many levels. And everybody's looking for a little dose of happiness wherever they can find it. And if the Jets can provide that, I think a lot of people in the city would be happy about that.
Hell yeah. Good luck out there. We appreciate you. Can't wait to watch you on the revamped kickoff show this evening. And thank you for the time today. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Thank you.
That is, hey, no problem. Thank you. Over there, September 11th, Buffalo versus the Jets on Monday Night Football. I mean, it's going to be special. I can't wait to watch the pregame tributes and thank yous, obviously, and a little bit of remembrance and a trip down memory lane about something that brought our entire country together like nothing I had ever seen before.
Yeah.
All right, hour two. That was quick.
Yeah,
Boy,
very.
that was very
we
quick.
knew it.
Jeez Louise.
Hour two will be on the other side of this break where we will chit-chat with Stephen A. Smith, AJ Hawk, break down the games we haven't talked about. I missed it. All right, yep, see you next hour. Cheers. We're about to break some news. Ladies and gentlemen, a franchise has called to its fans to find a new logo for their team. Cleveland Browns said we need a new dog logo. We put an elf in the middle of the field, and people had a little bit of a backlash because we have the dog pound. We are dogs. Now we need a new logo. So they said, hey, any fans want to go ahead and draw one? Go ahead. They have two finalists, ladies and gentlemen. One fan created, one internally created. Ooh. And it is now time for the Cleveland Browns fans to learn their fate of the next dog logo. Bringing in the box that will obviously tell us what is the winner is Brownie the Elf.
Wow.
Brownie!
Brownie, get here. Does he talk?
Brownie,
No.
they're just staring each other down. I do not believe he speaks. So,
Stand up, Diggs. Come on.
Drum roll, please. Replacing the elf. Trust me, Brownie, always be a place for you. Always be a place. Sorry, Brownie. Wow. Generated dog logo. So this is a dog by a dog for the dog.
Hell yeah.
Rated in wheat, Brownie.
Suck it.
Oh, let's go shake their hands.
Oh.
Let's go shake their hands.
Oh!
Truce.
Okay.
Hey, that was fun to see. Good AFC North.
Oh,
Brownie said last word. Brownie, in the elf community, how high are you in the hierarchy of elves? At the top.
Not more than Harry Potter.
Whoa. What about the cookie elves? They're pretty.
Whoa.
What does a Brownie the elf eat, if you had to guess?
Poop.
What do you eat? I don't know. What do you do?
Brownies.
What is it?
Did Brownie wear the whole situation all the way here from Cleveland, you think, in the car?
What do you mean this is every day? This ain't a situation.
Yeah, he wakes up.
He said this is a costume. AJ said this is a costume, potentially, and you're not an actual elf. That's what AJ said.
No, AJ.
No, not me.
AJ's up
AJ
there.
Hawk.
Right there.
That guy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Flip him off, Brownie.
Yeah, let him know.
Come on, tell him.
Oh! Brownie didn't eat. He eats bugs.
Yeah, he picked your bogeys.
Elves love picking bugs.
Yeah, they big. Is that the second favorite thing he eats? I wonder.
Oh, yeah, because
Bugs.
Brownie's number 1, bugs number 2.
Bugs 2.
Dog poop around the stadium.
3. Yeah.
Dog pound.
Yeah. Yeah. For the dog.
He thought he was getting
Dog
into it.
pound.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, here we go.
That's not a free throw,
Right
though.
in front of the free.
Bunnies here, Brownie.
Oh, but that's it. You lose.
No.
Stroke.
Oh!
The runner.
All right, since you made it on the second one, we'll go 20 people, $500 because
Okay.
Brownie's an.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Overreaction Monday, September 11th, 2023, hour 2 of this program starts right now. Football is happening this evening as the Bills and the Jets will cap off an NFL Week 1. That was something we'll think about for another week or so. What did we learn about teams? A lot or nothing. We have no idea where these teams will be 2 weeks from now in the NFL, in college, but we will enjoy the ride, the ebbs and flows, the ups and the downs of every team that steps foot onto a football field. The talk to table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys turn Diggs is here. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. And joining us now, live from an attic in Ohio, is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, a COVID survivor, a father of 10, the president of Ohio, A.J. Hawk.
How we doing? We all right?
Wow.
Yeah, you look good.
Wow.
Good.
Feels pretty zoomed in to me, but that's all right. Some pretty good football games played yesterday, huh?
Yeah, there was some pretty good football games played this weekend. It is pretty zoomed in. You look majestic. You know, that dome piece that we saw in person down there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama is glowing. You look like you got some good sun. Not as much as me. I got burnt by that southern sun.
Yeah.
But he looks like you're glowing, AJ.
Yeah.
Glowing.
Hey, I tell you what, they've been helping me out. So I appreciate all the help from all the ESPN tech people behind the scenes. Actually,
Tuscaloosa was fantastic. Did you feel the same way?
man, I've never been there. I was blown away. Like everything they do inside the stadium, just unbelievable. It was really cool.
Yeah, I thought so. The light show, the music,
cool.
the DJ, the MC, who we almost had on the program. He is a maestro.
We were supposed to have him, but the guy was so busy juicing the crowd up, we couldn't get him on the live broadcast. But yeah, hopefully if we get back there someday, we will get him.
Had $1 Glenn Powell.
Yeah. $1 million band, best band in America now.
Sankey.
Yeah, Greg Sankey.
That was awesome.
Sankey.
SEC commish came on. It was pretty good.
Reese.
Reese
Yeah,
Davis
Reese.
stopped by. He said with 10 minutes, this ship has sailed.
Yeah.
He said, this team stinks. They're going to lose to Texas. They
did.
can't keep up. You got no idea. He's an Alabama alum. I think they're all very, very worried about what this season looks like. But I think that Texas team was good.
Absolutely.
You look at the size of that Texas team, the speed of that Texas team, what their quarterback's able to do. It's like, hey, Alabama, I understand that this ain't an SEC team yet. And I understand it was a loss at home. But also, I think your team's good. I think Texas just so happens to maybe have a wagon this year. So you got the Cowboys and Texas, two massive brands, all actually good this year.
All the way back.
There we go.
Shout
There we
out.
go.
How about that?
Shout out Texas, AJ. That's good news.
Quinn Ewers, man, that dude, we were talking about it during the broadcast, but Texas just continued to answer. If Alabama ever figured out a way that made a big play, Quinn Ewers just kind of strolled out there, super calm, collected, and would make unbelievable throws, and with pressure all around him too, man. It was all those guys were very impressive.
He threw a punt to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That ball,
Mortar.
we were standing right underneath that ball, pretty much, because he was throwing it to us, but just 4 yards shorter than us while we're standing with McConaughey. And that thing looked like a punt turning over with how high it was.
Yes.
It was even like moving a little bit, like kind of reacting how a punt would with how high it was coming down. And then the tracking by Xavier Worthy to catch that right in front of our face. And then McConaughey, full on getting the moon power. Getting the moon. He was on the side. People don't understand this. He was literally standing on the side, not on camera.
No.
This was not a show.
Just watching the game.
Not doing it for anyone either. Not like hitting his buddy saying, hey, watch this.
He had the Texas Longhorns up like the moon was powering him. You know how those people get those stones? And they're like, we got to power it on the full moon. McConaughey was like radiating the moon through his Longhorn, okay? And then he was shaking it through the other arm. So it was like going through. He was doing this for 15 minutes straight.
Yes.
It wasn't even like nobody was watching. It was all, and we just, maybe on some vitamins, just kind of strolling the eyes around. You look over, you see this guy in a hat looking absurd right on the sideline. It's like, is that McConaughey? Holy hell, McConaughey's here. Yep. And then we find out McConaughey, fan of the program.
Absolutely.
Which is cool.
Is that on? And then he brings over great vibes. Texas does that thing. Yeah. And then Burton has that touchdown in the corner right in front of us.
Yep.
I mean, we had a blast. Not everybody loved it because I think a lot of people forgot that there was another broadcast that you could watch.
Sure.
Which seems to happen with these simulcasts.
Great. Oh, we weren't the primary broadcast for the Texas-Alabama game?
No, we were not. A lot of the Southern whites did not know that, though.
Right.
Okay.
If you read some of the comments, and I appreciate them figuring out X and how to get a post up.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you think that we were the main broadcast of Texas, Alabama, you're a different level of dumb, and I appreciate you existing and everything like that. But this is a much more positive received simulcast than we've ever done. And I think it's largely because, did you see how cool Darius was?
Oh, man. Once
Oh,
again.
my God.
Did it again.
He had a pinstripe suit.
Yep.
Oh,
White tee underneath.
Oh, with the Air Force. Oh. He looks so cool out there.
Whistling at him in the crowd. They're whistling as he's walking by. We couldn't go anywhere.
There was a lot of that going on.
Hey, that environment, man, electric. I know they call it the L, but being in that stadium, like you guys talked about, the breaks, it's a tough place. Ewers came in there, played. Worthy, A.T. Mitchell, Jatavian Sanders, the tight end. That was an electric game, an electric showing by them Texas Longhorns.
Lucky to be there, obviously appreciative to be there. We'll be in, and thank you to everybody that came out on Friday. There was only like 7 to 8 technical difficulties, but we got to figure it out in the back. We appreciate everybody doing that. I don't know which game will be our next one where the show will travel on Friday, but I do know that game day is going this weekend to Colorado up there in Boulder. Should be fun, Mile High. Love the laws up there. Love what they're building up there. And can't wait to chit-chat about what Dion's cooking with Colorado, who just dog-walked Nebraska.
Just absolutely beautiful scenery as well. And, they dog-walked Nebraska, which means that I think it was the most bet-on college football game of all time, and everyone was on Colorado, so everybody dog-walked the books, which is kind of...
Thank you, Colorado.
Gave us a free one.
Back weeks now?
Thank you.
Yeah. Smack,
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah, I need a new big board. I'm not sure if you saw the photo, but people were really getting after him for the Jumbotron they got there.
What happened?
It's about the size of that board right behind you, and boy, it was getting cooked.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was getting cooked.
So Colorado's the school not able to keep up with what the football team's trying to bring in there.
Yeah, because the photos of the scenery, like you just mentioned, from like the press box or the top of the stadium, wherever it is, were unbelievable. But unfortunately for that photo, the Jumbotron just got exposed.
It's being compared to Rockies.
It's Mickey Mouse.
It's a Rockies in the background. Of course, it's going to look small.
If we can find this photo, you're going to see it, and you are going to see, it does look like a 50-inch TV.
I was just at Lucas Oil Stadium, so.
Oh, yeah,
they got two great ones, though. Lucas Oil, I mean, the product on the field just isn't what it is for Colorado.
No, it's the Jumbotron is very, where you were sitting, I guess, was perfect for you for a TV program.
True.
But, you compare that to most other stadiums, can make that thing a little bit bigger.
Especially when you got that back window just begging for a Jumbotron to go in there.
Put right in front of that is the TV up there?
Yeah, that's the TV up there.
That looks like one of those pull-down things for like a step and repeat for those photos.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when people are taking pictures like, all right, let's put this thing up. All right, meet somebody, take a photo. That's what they got on top of their stadium right there?
Yeah,
that actually looks pretty big from that angle.
Yeah,
or I shouldn't say pretty big.
It doesn't even go the full uprights.
There's another angle that thing is very, very tiny.
It's all right. They'll catch up. They'll catch up. They got the business covered.
Sure. Well, they don't have the money to pay Prime, but
they'll figure it out.
Got it now.
Sold out the whole stadium last week. Every human that was of any clout was standing on the sideline of it.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, my God.
That's the photo.
A little bit of an issue.
Oh, you don't want to block the view. That's got to be their reasoning, right?
Of the Rockies?
What?
Mm-hmm.
It's
You
above.
don't want to put a big old jumbotron and block this beautiful view for all the people in the stands.
I agree. You only get to see the top of the Rockies one time, and that's when you go to a Colorado game.
Well, it would probably just block the hotel. So if you don't want to see the hotels, I can see that.
I like that they're old school, too. Don't watch the Jumbotron. Watch the game.
Watch the game on the field.
The refs are right. Don't look for a replay. Look down there. Prime and the boys are dominating.
Yeah.
I assume they'll catch up. That'll catch up. That'll get bigger, and this weekend's going to be greatest weekend of all time in the history of bowling.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
In my life.
Can't wait. In that rivalry, too. I mean, this is probably going to be the biggest blowout in the history of that rivalry.
Colorado State?
Yep.
Oh, the Colorado State team. They're coming in there scrappy.
Yeah, I hope they
They're
are.
coming in there scrappy.
What's the early line on the game? Do you know?
21? Yeah, 20.
3 scores.
Jeez.
Shador. Okay, here's a question that's going to pop up. Came up in a call this morning, so I apologize for taking ideas from there, but it's real. Everybody's just assuming Caleb Williams go number 1 overall in the NFL draft.
Yep.
There's Caleb Williams going number 1 overall.
Him or May?
No, May is going number 2 overall. See, you say him or May. I say him or May. But what it sounds like what everybody else is saying is Caleb Williams, by far, number 1 overall pick. Drake May, number 2 overall pick. It's like, well, I don't know if that's just how NFL executives think, like how everybody thinks the exact same way. But nonetheless, who's that third? Shador Sanders has got to be in there right now.
Has to be.
And he's got to be. He's got to be quiet. His dad's Deion Sanders. Anytime you can get a legacy player, okay? Anytime you get somebody that knows what it's like to be a professional athlete, knows what the NFL is like, probably knows a lot of people in a lot of buildings since he was a little kid, the expectation, how to operate, everything that's coming. It's like this dude is unstoppable. He is so good at football, and it's kind of getting shadowed, obviously, because the hype of Colorado. Then you look at Travis Hunter. This dude is an anomaly, a freak show. He is so good. Shiloh, the other brother is what it'd be called. He's leading them in tackles. They got this run. They got running backs on top of running backs.
Edwards.
They're a good team. What if Colorado ends up in the college football playoff?
Oh, I hope.
Could you imagine, AJ? They're going to have to get through a tough Pac-12. This is the toughest Pac-12 has been in a long time. But if they do, they've earned their spot in the college football playoff. Could you imagine Prime? Oh.
That speech.
Oh, my, AJ. That's a chance. We are standing in a moment where that is possible right now.
Why not? And each week that they continue, I know it's only been 2 weeks so far, but they just continue to, I guess, exceed expectations for what people have placed on them. And I guess if you're inside that locker room, it feels like it's a very confident bunch right now. Not a cocky bunch, but very confident.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah, should be.
Right.
They've been dominating.
I mean, that place is on fire. Like, think of Colorado this year compared to the last couple of years right now.
Not just last couple of years.
Yeah.
Last 20.
25.
We lost to Colorado on Thursday night. I hit an upright. That's on me. 100% my fault. But, could have had one at the end. Didn't let me take it. I mean, there's a lot of different ways we could have won about that. But nonetheless, I was out there. It was beautiful. The city is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Getting there, it is magical. And I think Deion even said that, I just got to get them here. I got to make sure people don't get too scared of how cold it is. Once they get here, the views, the town, it's all ready to go. But this first time in decades that this team can go, and they might be able to do it. How long does it last? Let's not worry about that right now, but let's just go on this thing.
They
I
top
assume
20
it's-
now?
Yeah.
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 They were 22 or 21 last one?
22 because old Cuz was 21.
Because Duke was 21. But what did he say right from the beginning? It wasn't about the situation. It's about the destination or something along those lines.
Hell yeah.
I assume he's only going to continue to build, especially as they change conferences. Everybody in the transfer portal? We were talking about the kid from USC, Zachariah. If Caleb Williams leaves and then maybe he doesn't know if the next quarterback is going to be like Caleb, who says that kid doesn't say, I'm just going to go play
Caleb's
for Prime?
leaving, by the way. I heard his dad say maybe not.
Oh, he's out there. He's out there. You can see Burrow sign $55 million a year. You got to get 1 year closer to that, Caleb. If he's worth a shit once he gets in the league, which we expect him to be. But that showdown between him and Shador in a couple weeks. After, you got this Colorado State game, and then Colorado, they got Oregon and USC after that. So it's kind of worked out perfect for them. They get a challenge out of the gate with TCU, go up, beat the brakes off in Nebraska, and now you kind of have another, you would expect at least, kind of a warm-up game, and then you got the meat of your schedule right here.
I'm excited to see what Travis Hunter puts up in this game.
right?
So
Because there's some games on the schedule, although they got Oregon and USC, it's going to be tough. There's some games on the schedule where Travis could maybe put up 200 yards receiving.
Yeah, 3 picks.
You know what I mean? And he could get a little greedy on the defensive side of the ball. And then whenever they're talking about Heisman, it's like, well, how can you not actually potentially give it to this guy? And his mentality, hey, what's the expectations out? He said to dominate. Like, they're not like, yeah, we beat TCU. It's a fun story. It's like, what are you doing now? What are you talking about? We are here to dominate everybody we play against. There's a lot of teams that are hoping that. Hopefully, Colorado's one of the ones that's able to do it.
I was thinking maybe to save his legs, and to get his numbers up. Maybe you just play him on offense this game against Colorado State. Don't worry, maybe you don't need him on defense for this game.
Let him get one pick.
Okay, and then
You let him get one pick. And then
no more
offensive snaps this past week, right?
Nah, there was less Travis Hunter, but Shador was still.
Yeah, they
didn't have the ball as much because Nebraska tried to take the air out of it.
That's what everybody's going to do. You don't want them to score, keep them off the field.
And that rule stuff, the rule with Sanders stuff, I didn't even realize that before the game. I didn't hear about any of that until after the game when that was a thing.
Let me tell you what I like about Shador. Oh, yeah. Week 1, offensive coordinator Browse for TCU.
Yep.
Whenever he was at Florida State, didn't even talk to Shador. You think Shador forgot that? Absolutely not. Hate this guy. Let's go throw for 500 yards against this guy. Week 2, Matt Rule said some things about my dad. He's got the Michael Jordan at the restaurant in Utah. Coming. Good luck, Mr. Jordan. Oh,
son of a.
That's all I needed. Shador has that.
Yes.
And it's like, all right. He's talented. His dad was pro in 2 sports. He seemingly has the football IQ that's better than everybody. And mentally, I know Tom Brady's his mentor. He also finds ways to get pissed off and find the best of himself.
Yeah, and there was a great clip also after the game. Deion and Shador were driving around, and Deion was singing, having a good time, and a lot of people were saying, hey, look, Shador needs to go have some fun. He's trying to drop his dad off. He's not trying to, hang out with Prime. But it seems like chemistry's great there still.
They call him mature or old. I forget the nickname. Something like he's an old.
Oh.
Like he is just like so mature.
Even better.
Like Shador Sanders is just like always like this. And good. Hey, college football is off to a great start.
Love it.
We'll be in Colorado this weekend for game day. Should be a blast. Let's talk about the NFL. AJ, what did you see from Jordan Love yesterday that makes you think the Packers somehow go from Favre to Aaron Rodgers to now this guy who seemingly next 15 years, the world is his? He looked incredible, AJ Hawk.
I think he just kind of continued what we've been hearing was happening in the spring and what we saw a little bit in the preseason. Like, we always talk about quarterbacks that we want to see that they're in control. Like, they're in control of the huddle. They look calm and collected, like the moment's not too big for them. Credit to the offensive line as well, giving him time. But yeah, I'm a big fan of guys that have quick releases, and this guy I think can sling it. When he's ready to make the decision, he lets that thing fly. And this game had to be a huge confidence booster. To go into Chicago and win, it's a fun thing to do, and I'm sure he's hoping to do it many more times.
And that guy right there, Dobbs, is a dog.
Yes, he is.
And it feels like Jordan and he are on the same page. That's a nice relationship that can literally go for 10 years if they nurture it right and correct it right. Colts asked for Christian Watson. That was an absurd ask.
Yeah, you didn't see many people saying that.
Fair ass.
I don't know. He's a number one receiver.
He ain't Waddle.
He's a number one
receiver. Is he
receiver.
number 2 on that team?
He ain't freaking Jalen Waddle.
Waddle's number 2 receiver.
Waddle is the number 2 wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. I hate to break it to you. That's just how it goes because you have
Jerry Rice might be the number 2 receiver on the Miami Dolphins, Pat.
Okay, sweet.
So you're asking for
He's
Jerry.
a 1 now on our side.
Yep.
That is
Okay.
all. We got the MVP of tailgate.
That's right.
That's what we're asking
Boom,
for then, if we're going to trade Jonathan Taylor. Let's pivot to another team that has a few olds in positions that are key, getting paid a lot of money, all going to end up in the Hall of Fame. And then you got the 3rd youngest team in the NFL around them that just traveled up to Seattle and got a massive win. This Rams team, Lombo liked them. Said, hey, the Rams seemingly have the Seattle Seahawks number. Then you watch Matthew Stafford sling the pill again. It's like, oh, that's the same Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Then you see Aaron Donald causing Geno Smith to say, oh my God. Oh, that was an actual clip from yesterday.
Awesome.
Aaron Donald loops around, wide open. Geno Smith, check. Oh, my God, throw the ball away. He still has that fear being brought alongside of him everywhere he goes. And should we believe in him a little bit more? Listen to this clip from the locker room, and you tell me if you're buying into this LA Rams team that now is being molded into the next generation of itself.
It's about the way you guys picked one another up. Stop after stop after stop defensively. Offensively gets going. Special teams, holy shit, that's a freeze field goal and you hit a 50-yarder. We weren't even supposed to take that thing. God dang. But I'm going to tell you what, man. Love this group. love you guys, for real. Because of the way that you guys have poured yourselves out every single day. Understand how do we move forward with the right mindset and mentality. Don't you change at all.
No.
Don't you change.
What do you say?
Love you guys so
I think
great.
he said the
Let's listen.
Walking off the field, man. Whatever the outside world thought was going to look like, they don't got a clue. Every single day, we just started. Now let's go. Rams on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Matthew Stafford believes. Sean McVay believes. I guess Stafford has one of those things where his voice just drops out mid-sentence.
It must be. Or
be,
he's got a
Potty mouth
on him.
This guy's a truck driver.
My God.
He needs to not talk like that. Neither does
No.
McVay. It kind of scares me that those two speak in that type of way. And
A little
they're
bit.
leading a team now. But, AJ, I like that they're buying into the fact that, yeah, we're young, but at the right positions, we got guys that have been there, done that. Are you up on the Rams? Do you think we should maybe think about the Rams going on a little bit of a run this year, AJ?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many wins that means, but I feel like if you have a young team, yeah, that's one thing. If you have a young quarterback with a young team, that's when it can get scary. But if you have a young team and you have Matthew Stafford, who's won a Super Bowl for this team, and we know the resume this guy has, then, yeah, I think you always have a chance. And they didn't even have Cooper Kupp. Who knows when he could possibly be back. But I think what's cool here, when you see the post game, the Rams, I think we're getting to that point for a little bit probably where they're just expected to win every game and they're almost relieved. Now they've kind of got knocked back down and they get to enjoy victories now, like we saw Tom Brady sometimes last year when it's not just like, cool, that's a relief. We won that one. Like, no, we're going to enjoy these wins, and that's, I think, where the Rams are right now.
So Tutu obviously doing his thing. Cam Akers was back running the ball all over the place. Obviously Williams there doing his thing. But whenever you have Lombo said this. Lombo was like, I got faith in McVay and Stafford being able to do it. With how young they are, I guess there's a lot of question marks. And then they're facing off against the Seattle Seahawks team. Number one offense in the NFL last year. So you would think that what the Seahawks are going to be able to do at home was make a statement like, hey, this is the new year. Geno Smith after the game said they were playing harder than us.
Yeah.
That's never good after week one for sure. What's Pete Carroll got cooking up there?
Yeah, not good at all for Seattle, and I don't believe their top 5 pick played either, the corner Devin Witherspoon. But Stafford was throwing to guys, and AJ mentioned Cooper Kupp not playing. This dude, Puka Nacua, they have, is so good. He had over 100. Stafford made him look unbelievable, and he also made unbelievable plays. Like this one here is impossible to bring him down. I think he had over 100 yards, but are we a little worried, the report in the offseason, that the reason Stafford can't connect with the younger players is because he does have a potty mouth, and maybe that's not what they're about anymore? They don't like the swearing. They don't like the F-bombs. When Stafford does that, it kind of turns.
McVay, too, kind of throwing these F-bombs in these guys' faces.
Yeah,
you remember Wall Street Journal?
Yeah.
Are they going to say F-bomb-lated coach of the Los Angeles Rams?
And QB?
That'd only be fair.
Well, I'm disgusted by the amount of F words that
I don't
Matthew
think-
Stafford said. F-bomb city over
I've
there.
never heard you go on a tirade laden with
that?
F-bombs like that. Because if you did, I'd get up and walk off the set.
So you're like the youngs that are in the locker room.
Apparently, I don't know. I mean, but you gotta. This guy's supposed to be a leader of men, leader of a franchise. What did I don't know. We didn't see it. Did they put a bar of soap in his mouth afterwards? Because they should have.
I hope so. If a lot of the people that are watching this show and get mad about it had their say,
right,
he'd be right in the middle of a Christmas story with the F-dash situation.
Exactly. Stringing them up.
Hello to the 1920s. It's great to be here. Darius, young team can get molded into being great. NFC West, we obviously all just go, well, the Niners, they're playing different football than everybody else with what they got. Rams, sneaky team to think about this year.
Oh, like AJ said, I don't know how many wins we can expect from this year.
not.
Hell of a start on the road.
What's
in the
that all about? They
division.
speak the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's the thought. If anything, for me, it's like, okay, I'm not betting against the Rams for the rest of the season because if Stafford's going to play like that the entire year, and then they don't even have Cooper Kupp yet, and the Seahawks are good.
We don't have Cooper Kupp's on IR. He's out 4 weeks.
Yeah,
at least 4 weeks. But it was good. It was great to see Stafford playing that way, and I saw something during the game. They went a quarterback sneak with Stafford.
Yes.
And that lets you know that they're confident in his health and him at 100% back. But I was pretty disappointed with the Seahawks team after what they did last year offensively. And then you expect them to be better on defense as well. So for them to come out and lay an egg like this at home in a divisional game, that was disappointing to see.
Let's go to the NFC South. Derek Carr's tenure as a Saint starts with a dub.
There you go,
There
Derek.
you go, Saints. They are the favorites to win the NFC South. We're all very eager and excited to watch what this new Saints are going to look like. Blocking kicks with Taysom Hill, Derek Carr's connecting for plays, and then they get a 16-15 win over the Tennessee Titans. So not a lot of electricity or magic, but a hard-fought football game. We don't know what the Titans are. We never know that if they're going to be great or if they're going to be average. We just know that Vrabel's going to have them in every single game. What was your take on Derek Carr and the Saints getting a hell of a start here, 1-0? AJ's frozen.
I feel like they missed some opportunities, I would imagine. They turned Tannehill over 3 times, and you only scored 16 points. So I would imagine Derek Carr wants to get some more points out of those turnovers. But a win is a win, I guess. And if you're Tennessee, you're thinking, hey, we lost by 1. We turned it over 3 times. The quarterback did. We played pretty terrible, and we still only lost by 1. Hopefully, we can still move forward.
Did you see Jimmy G before the game? He was the one that did the who dat chant start.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
beginning, so
Jimmy Graham, yeah.
Oh,
Jimmy
yeah,
Graham.
sorry.
I think
Jimmy, sorry, that's 100% on me.
The other Jimmy G.
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham did it for the Saints. He was so jacked up.
It was
They had,
sweet.
4 cameras around him. We've seen Drew Brees do this in the past where he jogs out to the middle of the field right before the game starts. And Jimmy G did this punch, and they started the whole who that, they gonna beat the Saints. The whole thing. I'm like, boy, if that team gets rolling, that building is one that is a nightmare to play in. Were you on the team when we lost by 60?
No, but I had my own ass whooping from Drew Brees and that Saints team as a member of the New England Patriots.
But,
Oh, yeah.
Bud, down there,
Oh, yeah.
when it gets going, it is tough to get stopped. And if this Derek Carr regime ends up being a very successful one, I think what I'm most excited about is getting a chance to see them, the fans, on primetime TV more. They talk about Whistle Man who does his thing, but that whole place is ready to explode at any given moment.
I thought he looked good. Like Michael Thomas looked good, Olave looked good. Like, and then the running game didn't. But when Kamara comes back, that's going to be so much better. I was impressed with the Saints yesterday, especially their defense, because they held Derrick Henry in check. Now, Tannehill looked terrible. I don't know if that was the defense's fault or his, but the Saints looked good yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, and Derek Carr, we know, veteran quarterback, so he's going to be composed in places. He knows he's going to do his thing. And if they're able to put the pieces around him, which we think they will, and they have, why not the Saints?
Yeah, seriously.
Why not?
And it's not like they're in a great division, so they got
Baker
Wait a
Mayfield travels into Minnesota
Big
and
win.
says, this ain't the Tom Brady era anymore. Nah. This is a rebirth of a guy that took a team to a playoff to get a win and then gets run out of town, then goes to Carolina, then to L.A. Now, Light and the boys in Tampa say, hey, we need you, we want you. Baker looked composed. Baker connected with Mike Evans, who's allegedly up in a contract dispute, or he's on his way out of there. And they get a massive dub over the Minnesota Vikings, who last year I had a lot of high hopes for. This year I had a lot of high hopes for. And for whatever reason, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went in there and got a huge statement win. Now, does this mean the Vikings are going to stink the rest of the year? I do not believe that is the case.
Not sure.
I believe the Vikings are going to be able to do it. Justin Jefferson had 100-some yards in the first half yet again, even though everybody knows that Justin Jefferson is going to get the ball. Addison, new wide receiver, had a touchdown, which is massive. What is it about the Vikings that can't just go, just can't go?
Yeah.
Their defense stinks.
It's tough.
Well, and people are always just going to come back to the Kirk thing. Like this is the
He
Kirk
got drilled
Cousins
yesterday,
thing.
too.
Put up great numbers once again.
Yeah,
Man, this was a game that they win last year. Like these one possession games, like
Bingo.
something happened, they find a way to win it. That's how they ended up with 13 wins. But everything y'all said, the defense and just getting over that hump, man, they got the talent, especially offensively. But now defense, I think they need more talent with Brian Flores to work with for sure.
Let's talk about the Bucs. We think there's something?
That's a big win.
Maybe.
That's a good win.
Depends on your expectations on what does that mean? What is something?
In that division,
I don't know. Are they something? I mean, Mike Evans.
I was happy for Baker. It was a perfect Baker game. He gets to lower his shoulder and finish the game, basically seal it with getting a first down, putting his head down, kind of winning over his teammates even more, I think.
You talk about their defense. They got a defense.
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah,
they do.
They got weapons
Yep.
at the right spot. Baker, for everything that has been said about him over the last couple of years and being run out of town of Cleveland after winning them a playoff game, and Cleveland seemingly is back after what they did to Cincinnati yesterday, so good on him making that decision. But, Are the Buccaneers going to go on a run right here? Is this something that's going to happen after this week one? I know it's Overreaction Monday. Obviously, we have to act this way. But are the Bucs about to do something in the NFC South?
I think they're better than people thought they were going to be because people had them as a top 5 pick coming in the season. So I think, especially with the weapons and the defense, I think they're better there. But I don't think they're better than the Saints or the Falcons in the division.
But I don't think the Saints and the Falcons are so much better than them. Like, I think it's possible because that division is so bad. Like, if they steal one here or there from Atlanta or New Orleans, like, it's not crazy to think with, like, 4 weeks left in the season, like, they could play themselves into a potential playoff spot.
Why not for the Bucs?
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, it's great to see Baker taking care of that ball, man. Taking care of the football. Defense and keep him in a position where, once again, kind of like the Daniel Jones situation, you just don't want him in a position where, hey, we're down by 17. We need you to go throw for 250 in the second half to bring us back. But if he can take care of the ball, make some plays, and have that moxie, that can get him over the hump in some of these games for sure.
Where was the fire in the gut for the Cardinals?
Man.
Why didn't they take their own individual buses to this game against the Commanders? Now the Cardinals made it a battle. They certainly made some plays on the defense side of the ball. Matt Prater, who's a 65-year-old man, hit a 54-yard field goal. He still got it. They still have some pieces that are great. But there was never a doubt that the Commanders were going to get a win with Sam Howell in his first ever start, or second ever start, I guess, for this Washington Commanders team, even after making some mistakes. Is Ron Rivera and Eric Bieniemy got something with this Sam Howell character? Did you get the chance to see this? We're talking resilient.
Oh, yeah.
Gritty. He took a massive shot, bounces back and does it. What if the Commanders are something this year? Or are we making a little bit too much? It's still the Arizona Cardinals who are the Arizona Cardinals, AJ.
I mean, I was more impressed by the Cardinals watching this. I feel like the Cardinals had an opportunities to win the game, no question, because their defense. I like their defense. I like how they fly around. They make some plays. But, yeah, offensively, Dobbs looked all right early, no question. But Sam Howell seems like one of those gamers. I mean, he's just a gamer that finds ways to win games. And they have talent. And, I mean, Chase Young's not even dressing up right now. He's not even dressing for the game.
Still.
And their D-line still is able to get good pressure, too.
What's going on with Chase?
Yeah, does his knee explode? Because this is
it his knee or something else now?
I thought it was still his knee.
I think so too.
Yeah, I believe, and that's why they.
It's like 2 seasons.
Yeah, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. I think this is why, because it's much, much worse or more serious still.
What is that? Like I'm not a doctor, obviously. Like a hairline fracture or something that's like.
Oh, the microfracture in the knee.
What is it? Is that what he has in his knee?
He didn't get microfracture, did he? That's a surgery.
No, yeah, and that is like career ending because I believe it's pretty popular in basketball.
But what
too.
was it? Is it ACL? What was it? Because
it was an ACL.
It was ACL. Right? Yeah.
But like with modern technology,
he came back at the end of last year.
Exactly.
Too. Mm-hmm. And then
we don't know like if there's any kind of hiccups throughout that recovery process. Sometimes people have to get it cleaned up in the middle of rehab or after they feel like they're already fully back. I don't know his situation at all, but I know that has happened.
So I guess if we think about Odell Beckham Jr. got that ACL surgery, but it didn't take, and he still played, and then in a Super Bowl on his way to win an MVP, it breaks again. But I don't think there's a lot of modern science. Is there a lot of this happening, especially with somebody that's at the top like that?
Bakhtiari was out for a while with his ACL. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
And Jensen, but he also
didn't get the surgery.
Yep.
And you got these timelines with these injuries, and usually they're pretty close. Whether somebody's hey, it's a 6 to 8 month injury, this is a whatever injury. But even with Brock Purdy, people didn't expect him to be back as quick as he did. So you're still dealing with different human bodies. So everybody heals differently. Everybody has different hiccups in rehab. So, but this is tough to see for a guy who 2 overall. Everybody had, super high expectations for Chase Young, so I hope at some point it gets figured out. He gets back out there.
Do you think any part of it is like their field is known for having, like FedEx Field has really, really, really shitty surface, and they're just like, hey, we can't throw this guy out here. We need to make sure he's on the road.
Yeah, the thing that makes me wonder about this is like maybe you're just built too athletically, and just too much of a beast.
Too explosive. I've seen people like that I feel like they're so muscle bound and they're so explosive that they tend to have a lot of soft tissue things, but they also tear ligaments.
But then it's like also the PTs and athletic trainers, everybody, we don't know how to treat your particular. You are,
sure, yeah.
So your muscles, ligaments, and bones are just different than everybody else's. So we'll have to adapt. When he comes back into the mix, well, look out in the NFC East that has a Giants team that is absolute crop. Absolute crop, AJ. Do you have that feeling that the Giants are dead? Dayball, his offense was not good. Wink, his defense was not good. I don't know who the special teams guy is. It was not good. Across the board, you prepare for 5 months for this particular evening. Dallas Cowboys, NFC East rivals, and you just get absolutely dog walked AJ Hawk. What are your thoughts on the Giants? Is this fixable? Are we overreacting? And are we not giving enough credit to the Dallas Cowboys, even though they're the Dallas Cowboys, because they have that guy on their football team on the defensive side?
Yeah, Micah is obviously an absolute game changer. But no, I'm not writing the Giants off. It's one game. It played about as bad as you could. And the Cowboys, I give them a ton of credit, especially defensively. You figured, didn't you feel watching this game, okay, eventually the Giants will get something going on offense. Like I felt like they may get a few cheap scores or whatever. And then you see now the Cowboys, we're primed to get this shutout. We're going to continue to do this. And man, it was a very impressive performance by the Cowboys, but I'm not crazy worried about the Giants.
It felt like the football gods were working against the Giants as well, so we always have to take that into account, just like we were doing with the Minnesota Vikings last year, where the football gods were blessing them. Last night, the football gods were very much against the New York Giants, from the first field goal all the way through it. But on the flip side, football gods seemingly on the Dallas Cowboys side for first time, long time.
Well, definitely, and they had a bunch of unbelievable turnovers. I think it was one of the later ones where there was a massive play by the Giants, and it ended up being a strip fumble that they recovered. But football gods aside, wasn't it just bad football by the Giants? It was just bad from the Giants all around. You guys broke down that play before about the blocked field goal. Danny Dimes had damn near no time. Their last 2 first-round picks, Andrew Thomas, one of them got hurt, and then Evan Neal, they both got dominated. And it is Micah Parsons, and that defense was great last year. It got even better with, the additions of Gilmore. But there's got to be a little worry in, camp Giants. Okay, maybe this year we take a step back, because we've been looking at that playoff bracket from last year on teams that might regress, that won't make the playoffs because there's the 40% or whatever it is that don't make it the year after they do go to the playoffs. And the Giants, the Vikings, both of those teams could be in the same exact spot where they're just not as good and they kind of regress a little bit.
The Vikings are certainly a surprise. They lose at home to Baker Mayfield. The Giants certainly a surprise because we have so much respect for the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That was a...
I'm not out.
What do you think? That's a bury the ball game, right? That's where you got to dig a hole and bury that ball.
Week 1, we're burying the ball.
Yeah, that's a tough start.
Hey, only up from here, baby. Only up from here. I think they still have the guys in the locker room to compete, and we know that division is going to be competitive all year long. I'm with AJ. I'm not out on them yet. Just a bad start, and everything was just going from that block kick. Everything was just down. They did get physically manhandled, so it's gonna be a gut check.
Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. Connor, obviously you had a close eye on this one to see if Mac Jones was salvageable after a terrible year 2 with no offensive people in his ear as his offensive coordinator. What you saw yesterday from the Patriots was good because you said at halftime seemingly made adjustments to become better football players.
Bingo, and I don't even know if they waited till halftime. It was the worst start to a Patriots game that I can remember. First off, Jalen Hurts, he starts off the game. They go down the field, kick a field goal. Defense holds them. There was a penalty on a 2nd and 10 where, it should have been 3rd and long, and we got a penalty. It was tough. After the first quarter, being down 16-0, there was 2 minutes left. I thought that there was a chance the Eagles were going to beat the Patriots, maybe 38-7, damn near 40-0 like the Cowboys. But after the first, the offensive adjustments that they made in order for Mac to kind of, settle in a little bit were massive. It wasn't anything we saw once last year with Patricia. Bill O'Brien clearly was the biggest addition that we had for this entire team. And, Mac ended up with, I think, 315, 3 touchdowns. He had 34 completions. Everything you saw out of Mac Jones is perfect. The New England defense is going to be unbelievable. The rookies, the Keon White, who looked like he was 45, that got drafted, pissed off in the 2nd round. He was so good. Gonzalez, the corner, made a massive play to at least set us up for a chance to win the game at the end. It was against A.J. Brown, too. He worked around. Big thing for the Eagles, and I think this will probably happen more as the season goes. Jalen Carter's got to be on the field more because he is ridiculous.
I saw Davis cooking as well.
Yeah. Davis played really well. I think he had the forced fumble on Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah, he played very well. Zeke was good, too, for New England. But it is night and day difference for the Patriots. I'm not worried at all at this point. And if you're an Eagles fan, I don't think you should be worried at all either because I saw some people like Jalen Hurts didn't do a damn thing. He was set up many times from the defensive plays that they made against Mac and the turnovers, obviously. But I think both teams, if you're a fan of the Eagles or the Patriots, you leave that game pretty pumped up with how your team is looking.
Hurts, 170 yards, 1 tud through the air, 37 yards rushing. Congrats to the Eagles getting a 25-20. Kind of, I mean, he puts both those feet down. Who knows?
Exactly, yeah.
Who knows?
Rookie mistake, and that was the second time he did that. There was another one before. I think it was like a 3rd and 8. It would have been a 25-yard completion. Way easier of a toe tap than on the first one. That just feels like a Keyshawn Butte screw up, and he might pay the price for that because he was playing in place of Devontae Parker. So when Devontae comes back, he might take a few snaps off.
We talked about the Raiders. We talked about Jimmy G getting a big-time win for them, and Devontae Adams gave a speech after the game talking about what he likes, what he doesn't like. And last year, those games, they would lose those games.
Yeah.
This year, they win it. Speaking of losing games last year, the Denver Broncos did a lot of that. They bring in Sean Payton. The way he started his tenure is something. Rex Ryan said he didn't like it earlier. I didn't get a chance to hear the reasoning. But Sean Payton starts his tenure as the Denver Broncos head coach with the wealthiest owner in sports at home with a surprise onside kick from his kicker, formerly of the New Orleans Saints, a little dribbler to the right. And everybody says with the new rules, you can't do any onside kicks. You can't do surprise onside kicks. Well, they did. They should have got it. A little bit of poor execution. He touches the ball half a yard before the 45-yard line. Ball has to travel 10 yards from kick, obviously. But I like the fact that guy right there used to be offense coordinator.
Is that Manuski back?
No, that's special teams coordinator, though, formerly of the Jets. Hoff?
Wim Hof?
Not Wim Hof.
His brother?
Westhoff. He's been in the NFL 1,000 years in the special teams world. He obviously had a big say of Sean kicking that, but Russell looked good.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good. His arm looked strong again.
Yeah. Yep.
Last year, his arm, he might have been dealing with an injury that we didn't hear about.
Maybe.
Because
We'll never hear.
It's definitely possible.
Team 3 would have told us about it.
something.
No complaint.
Oh,
No
being
excuses.
being fat is an injury.
Well, that is something. If he wasn't in as good a shape, his arm wasn't as strong as it had been in the past. Maybe he got a little bit lazy when Mr. Unlimited took the trip over to Denver from Seattle after everything that took place. Maybe he wasn't working as hard. Maybe Team 3, because he got an arm guy, he's got a cardio guy, he's got 2 feet guys, he's got hand people. He had a full team around him. Maybe they let him slacking and not being as strong. But yesterday, he was getting the ball 2 spots. He threw a deep ball that went up to the sky like an old Russell Wilson one. I think if you're a Broncos fan, it feels like Sean Payton has brought out a better version of Russell Wilson, as have Russell Wilson. They don't get the win, though. AJ, is that the only thing we should be talking about?
I mean, I guess I think right now it's not a moral victory, but it's definitely a victory for the Broncos that Russ does kind of have. He looks a little bit like old Russ. He doesn't look like Russ of last year. So we know, okay, this is still possible. He can still play at a very high level. He put together a great first half. We see that. But why would you not be excited about the onside kick to start? What's wrong? What is Rex think it's too careless or reckless?
I did not hear his exact reasoning. It was just a headline across the bottom. But also, teams that do that are normally desperate. You know, like you don't think you're a good team. I think Sean Payton was just letting everybody know, hey, this is how we're playing football right now.
Trying to win.
This is how Will Lutz, the kicker there, formerly at the Saints, misses extra point and field goal. Not normal for Will Lutz. He's going to have to find his stroke or he's going to be out of a job. Joining us now is a man who has a lot of jobs, and he's great at all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
This morning he had a lavender suit on. I have no idea what he's wearing right now. I do know he's the host of the Stephen A. Smith podcast and also of First Take. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, Stephen A.
What up, fellas? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Hey, I thought we were getting the lavender. You killed him this morning on TV, pal.
Well, yeah, I did. I had to just show. Ryan Clark was talking smack prior to the show today. He was talking smack last week about how he was going to come in dressed better than me. I had to put that notion to bed. So I did that. And, you know, I still got on half. So I just took off the jacket, but this is what I was wearing, this shirt tie with the lavender.
Okay, well, you crushed it. You killed it. He looked good, too. He had, like, the button-up turtleneck.
Oh, yeah.
With the...
Well, he's always looking good, but the problem is that, you know, sometimes he tries to come across as a pastor, and then he comes on the air today and says that he's an atheist for the day because he's not believing and all of this other stuff. So he's all over the place. He's all over the place, Pat.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Emmy winner, though.
Yeah,
and that big-time Emmy or on
Damn
TV
right.
now, those matter. Hell yeah, he's a talent. Hosting the new Inside the NFL as well. I don't know if anybody's going to come close to touching you whenever it comes to the moxie of what you wear on TV. Let's start talking. We were just chatting there about Russell Wilson. Let's wrap this up. He looked good. I thought Russell Wilson looked good. He was throwing the ball again. He looked like he had confidence again. They lose, but there's hope that Russell Wilson doesn't suck anymore, right? I mean, I think there's definitely hope for that.
There is hope. I mean, the reality of the situation is the only thing he brought good to Denver with him was Sierra. I mean, the fact of the matter is that it was that damn bad last year. And so there's no real way to go but up. He stunk up the joint last year. We know he's a Super Bowl champion. But I think that when it comes to Russell Wilson, a lot of people don't really take this into account, fellas. When Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl, that was fine. When they lost the Super Bowl, when Darry Bevel and Pete Carroll decided to let him throw the ball over the middle instead of giving it to beast mode at the half-yard line after he had gotten them up to that point, I don't think people really take into account to really revisiting the divide that created with the Seattle Seahawks back in the day. The Legion of Boom and others were not turned on by that. They were never the same. And then ultimately, when the keys to the throne were handed to Russell Wilson per se, and obviously he was more than respectable. He got him to the playoffs continuously and what have you. But he wanted his own franchise. He wanted to be the man officially. So he got that in Denver. And what happens? When he first got there, he stunk up the joint. Not only did he stink up the joint, he had a coach in Nathaniel Hackett, who, as far as I'm concerned, is lucky to have a job right now. I know that Aaron Rodgers' boy, and Aaron Rodgers, to me, that's a bad man. But Nathaniel Hackett has him to thank for even having a job in the NFL after that atrocity that he put forth in Denver last season. And so when you take that into account and the fact that Russell Wilson was a part of that Russell Wilson was living by his own rules and really feeling himself, there's a lot of making up to do. Making up for it ain't losing 17-6.
Yeah, it was a little boring. He looked strong, though. Hey, strong arm.
He looks strong. But listen. The bottom line is this. You look strong, too, but you're winning. He's not winning.
Okay,
and until he starts winning, then it doesn't matter. So I don't give it, he can look strong all he wants to. You got to get it done. And 16 points against the Las Vegas Raiders ain't going to cut it. So you can say he looks strong, and I don't disagree with you. He did look relatively good last year, but it's in comparison to what we saw last season, which was hot garbage.
Yeah, we all agree. Those games were terrible to watch, tough to watch. I appreciate the compliment. A little sunburnt right now, so I think you're seeing a little more vascularity from that Alabama sun. Go ahead, AJ.
Stephen A., the Niners, played very, very well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brock Purdy kind of picks up where he left off.
Dominant.
Exactly. What do you think is the deal with the Steelers? We know they had a great preseason. We're talking about all this hype, and then this happens week 1. Do you think they're going to be all right? And what about the Niners? They're going to make a run once again?
Well, first of all, with the Niners, that's a foregone conclusion. I expect to see them in the NFC Championship game. It's just that simple.
Hilarious.
Whether it's going to be against the Cowboys or the Eagles remains to be seen, but I think it'll be the 49ers against one of those teams. That's number one. Number two, I will tell you this. When it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm very depressed because I've been a lifelong diehard Steelers fan. And this is the first time that I've ever contemplated them finishing in last place within their own division.
Oh, no.
That's how I feel about it right now.
No.
Well, let's count the ways. Joe Burrow stunk up the joint yesterday. Do we really think that's going to last? We know better. We know what a superstar he is. He'll be fine. We look at Lamar Jackson now having Odell Beckham Jr. and Zay Flowers and those boys. They lost they lost J.K. Dobbins. We understand that's not a good thing, but still being exceptionally well coached by Harbaugh, being led by Lamar Jackson, having some rough riders on the defensive side of the ball. Do we really expect them to fall off? No. So it comes down to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. And even though Sean Watson still has some making up to do, he doesn't look like himself as of yet. When we look at Garrett and the impact that he has, when we look at Nick Chubb and the way he can run the football, when we look at them having a number one receiver in Amari Cooper, Peoples-Jones, this brother can play as well, and Joker can play at the tight end spot. You just look at the arsenal that the Cleveland Browns have had. They have flown under the radar. We've talked about Burrow's new deal. We've talked about Lamar Jackson's deal before that. We've talked about people that they've drafted. We've talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers and what we're hoping. But we've looked at the Cleveland Browns and we've paid little to no attention to them.
Yep.
And then they go against Cincinnati and hold them to 3 points and beat them 24-3. We got to pay attention to stuff like that and ask ourselves, where do the Steelers fit in that equation when you got a second-year quarterback with small hands and even smaller resume compared to the guys that I mentioned? I mean, what the hell are you going to be able to do? They had 3 sacks. TJ Watt had all of them. Nobody else recorded a sack. And, San Francisco punked them. Let's just call it what it is. They punked them yesterday. And so I don't expect that to last. I don't expect everybody to be able to do that. But I am worried about the Steelers, significantly so.
Yeah, if you look around the AFC North, we always say it's a quarterback-driven league. 3 highest-paid quarterbacks pretty much are in the AFC North, except for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you would start putting some math together. Maybe the Steelers are going to be in trouble. And last question for me before the boys have a question for you. Buddy. Huh? Buddy. I know you're wearing lavender suits, looking very cool. Mm-hmm. This might be the year where you put that cowboy hat on walk into Dallas and they got an actual team, not just a house of cards, not just a hype machine, not just an AI Jerry Jones in their stadium, an actual real life good football team that's going to be forced down our throats on primetime television every single week. They looked unbelievable last night against the Giants, and the football gods were on their side. Stephen A., are you a little bit worried about this whole thing getting shoved in your face?
My man, props to the Dallas Cowboys. They beat Saquon Barkley in a bag of chips. Congratulations. I'm really, really touched. I'm really, really touched by what I saw them do against the New York Giants. Oh, please, spare me. 2 years ago, they had Dak, they had Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard was a backup, Amari Cooper was a number one, CeeDee Lamb was there, Michael Gallup was there, Dalton Schultz, a reliable weapon at the tight end spot, was there for them. They went home to the San Francisco 49ers. Last year, Micah Parsons, obviously in his second year, this guy burst onto the scenes. We know what a stud that he is. Dan Quinn's, patrolling the defense. They look absolutely positively elite defensively last year. And all I said to everybody was, be patient. Just wait for it. They won't let you down. When something can go wrong, it will go wrong. And for the 27th consecutive year, I've been absolutely right. I mean, damn. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys make me look like a prophet, for crying out loud. This is what it is. And so now we get to this particular season. And what are we saying? We look at this defense, particularly with the pickup of Stephon Gilmore. This brother's all-world. He's elevated their cornerback room. You guys know football a hell of a lot better than me. I'm just a reporter who covered it. You guys played it. You know it. Mad respect and love for your knowledge. You know what he brings to the table with Diggs, with Parsons, with Lawrence and the crew. We get that. Quinn's patrolling the defense. They are going to be elite. They are arguably the best defense in the game. Speed, athleticism. They get after it, and Micah Parsons, that dude. But it still comes down to Dak. Trust me on this. Trust me. It comes down to Dak Prescott. Now, I know Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl with the Ravens. And I know Hostetler won the Super Bowl with the Giants. And I get stuff like that. I understand. But let me tell you something right now. They were guys that fit in. They weren't the team per se. They just played the position, and they were assigned to do their job. Jeez. That's not what Jerry Jones is paying Dak Prescott over $40 million for. That's not why they're thinking about resigning Dak Prescott for 7 years, for several years, averaging over $50 million. You're the quarterback of America's team worth $9 billion when everybody else on average is worth $5 billion. You're worth $9 billion. You got the star in your helmet. You're playing the $1 billion playpen. You're America's team. Forbes magazine talks about you. Everybody in America root for you, against you. Nobody's indifferent about you. You're world renowned, the number one sports brand in America, easy, and definitely one of the top sports franchises in the world. You're not supposed to have an average quarterback. Dak Prescott knows that. CeeDee Lamb's the number one receiver. Gallup is still there. You picked up Brooks. Pollard's your running back. Now your offensive line is considered to be good. What's the excuse? Dak Prescott.
Jeez.
Just be patient.
Jeez.
Be patient.
You brought it. I mean, Trent Dilfer caught a ricochet shot in there. Man. So did Dak, though. Dak, you really rounded up a lot. You're like, hey, listen, everybody can get it real quick. If I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to paint the picture properly. You're like Bob Ross there.
They went 12 and 5 the last 2 seasons. Why are we walking around acting like it's some epiphany that they're respectable and they're a championship contender? They were that way the last few years, but they nosedived when it counts. Just be patient. That's all you got to do. Just be patient. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They won't let you down. I promise you, they ain't gonna let you down. Hey, this is what they do.
Big Mike McCarthy calling plays again. Seems like it went well. Didn't really have to do much because the defense and special teams got them a 2-score lead. And I'm not saying what you said. No. Do not bring me into your, sphere of this entire thing. 40-zip, first shutout of 40 points or more since like 1999 or something. Speaking of, we are wrapping up on ESPN. The show will continue at YouTube and on ESPN Plus. Stephen A. Smith will continue to join us. Scott Van Pelt joins us in the next hour tonight. His big debut for Monday Night Countdown. We can't thank you enough for rocking with us here on ESPN. We're lucky to be here. We will see you tomorrow after a great Monday Night Football game. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Goodbye. Look at that. Now we're still on YouTube, Stephen. That's fucking professional.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could do that. I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we hit it too. I think we hit it
out of the park.
I think we hit it out of the park, Stephen A. You know what I mean? Like Dak.
That's what you're supposed to. That's why they brought you here, because you can, when most can't.
Those hard
I know
outs.
this much. I consider myself an ultra talented. We on YouTube, right? I consider myself an ultra talented motherfucker. I'm here to tell you that right now. Yep. Okay, I could not host the ESPYs, let alone host it on just a few days' notice, my brother.
Well,
There's only one Pat McAfee, baby.
Well,
there's only one.
I appreciate that. I mean, if you're going to give me a microphone to go say dumb stuff, though, that's right in my.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's right in my basket.
Actually, I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was dumb. I thought it was funny.
Mike Tyson. Hey, Stephen A. So Mike Tyson, obviously, I know who Mike Tyson is. Okay, I am a fan of Mike Tyson. I come walking out. He's front row, right to my left, and I'm like, oh, the SP's a little bit different here. Okay, we got Tyson here. Patrick Mahomes is right here. Tyson wouldn't even look at me for like the first 2 minutes. Like I didn't have him. He was dead face. I'm like, all right, so that's the guy I'm going to be trying to get. I forget where at one point I popped Mike Tyson though, and I was like, all right, we're doing okay.
Got him.
We are doing okay out here. That was an incredible honor. I'm thankful for it. Just like following you every single day, we are grateful for. Speaking of following, tonight, big time game. Darius has a question for you, Stephen A.
So, Stephen A., I heard your confidence level with Dak and the Cowboys, but another team just talked about Aaron Rodgers Tuesday tomorrow, another friend of the program. What's your confidence level with that bad man out in New York with that supporting cast that he has around him tonight and going forward this season?
I got him winning the AFC East. I know the Dolphins are going to have something to say about that. I expect the Buffalo Bills to try and have something to say about it. But I think if Sauce Gardner and that defense is everything they claim to be, particularly with DJ Reed running his mouth, that defense is going to be everything that, we projected them to be. And it's going to come down to this bad man because he is a bad brother. That's how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I think that, this side of Patrick Mahomes, he's the greatest talent at the quarterback position this game has ever seen. And I've said that many, many years. I just think that with him leading the way, I just think that his experience, his poise, his ability, I just think all of those things are going to come into play. And I definitely think that they could win the AFC East and they've got a chance to get to the AFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl. That's how I view the Jets. To me, Aaron Rodgers is going to do what he does, particularly when the remnants of losing the regular season finale to Detroit and then losing a divisional playoff game on your home turf at Lambeau Field.
Oh, yeah.
San Francisco the year before that is your immediate residue. I think he's going to make up for it. I think he's happy to be here. I don't think he was happy at Lambeau Field in Green Bay the last couple of years. It's all a breath of fresh air. New York loves him, as they should. And I think he's going to show up and show out. The real pressure is on Saleh, the head coach. What are you going to do? Defense is your signature. Everybody knows that Aaron Rodgers probably wouldn't have elected to come to the Jets if the defense wasn't so big time. So you guys got to show up and validate his arrival by making sure you do your job defensively. And that's what, to me, this season comes down to for the New York Jets, not Aaron Rodgers, because I expect him to do that. I'm hoping the defense performs.
If you heard the way Saleh talked in Hard Knocks, too, he was like, we got a guy. That's how all defensive people think. Mm-hmm. Defensive people are like, hey, our defense is going to be good, especially if they get a head coaching job. That means their defense has been very good somewhere. They're also going to probably have drafting and free agency decisions to be made to make the defense good, to make the head coach look smart. Hearing him talk is like how every defense coordinator talks in the entire NFL. We got a guy. Mm-hmm. If they don't have a guy, they're telling everybody, hey, our quarterback sucks. So we're going to have to. And on the complete flip side, they're like, hey, we're going to be in every game. We're going to do it. Buffalo Bills are a good team, though, Stephen. The Buffalo Bills,
they're a damn good team.
Great football team. That's a tough start.
But getting back to Saleh for a second, here's where I think it gets dicey for him. Because your defense was big last year. And the fact of the matter is that the Jets went out, Douglas went out and got you everything that you needed. And so now it's on you. You're not some offensive coordinator who got the head coaching job. Your signature is defense. Your fingerprint should be all over this defense. And if they don't perform up to snuff, we're going to look at the head coach and we're going to talk about your ability to lead. It's just that simple. As it pertains to the Buffalo Bills, here's what I would tell you. And I said this and Stephon Diggs denied it, as he should. But I was told from very, very reliable sources weeks ago that, you know what, he hadn't been happy, which we knew. He wasn't happy on the sidelines in the AFC divisional playoff game lost to Cincinnati. He certainly wasn't happy when all those months later when he first arrived at training camp because he did so late. Why? Because he was unhappy and Josh Allen had to talk to him and McDermott didn't know what was going on and he said he was concerned. And what I had been told was that he genuinely felt like the window of opportunity had slipped. That the Buffalo Bills, once knocking on the door of a Super Bowl berth, if not a championship, there was some slippage because Cincinnati had come into the forefront Super Bowl 2 years ago, AFC Championship game last year. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City isn't going anywhere, and he sees Miami coming and stuff like that. Obviously, with Baltimore, Lamar Jackson and everything. And he's saying, look, man, we might have missed our window of opportunity. So there was a level of frustration there, and he wasn't happy about it. They've made amends, of course, because they know they have to. He's under contract. Josh Allen's not going anywhere. We know Josh Allen's a stud. But when you look at the Buffalo Bills, they've got some things to prove because Miami is on the come up. The Jets are on the come up. Cincinnati is there. Baltimore's on the come up. Kansas City's not going anywhere. Even Jacksonville, now that Trevor Lawrence has Calvin Ridley, that's nothing to sneeze at either. They were in the playoffs last year. The road to prosperity is very, very difficult to travel through in the AFC. And so if you're Buffalo and you went from knocking on a door to just hoping that you know what, you'll get an opportunity to be at the big dance, it's going to be a situation. They've got some stuff to prove, and we'll see what they do.
The road to prosperity is not an easy one on the AFC side. You're right.
Love it.
It is thick over there on the AFC side. And I like that maybe that is what Stephon Diggs was so mad about. He was sitting there in his shin guards, super high fashion, looking at the whole NFL, and he said, we ain't got no shot. And that's what he got pissed off about. We thought you potentially went on vacation, and then a couple weeks later, you're like, oh, still got it. Because you came out of your vacation, it was like,
oh yeah, swinging,
boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
and it was like breaking news,
Well,
breaking
the thing
news,
about
breaking news.
it-
This person's pissed, this person's pissed, this person's gone, and everybody's like, I don't. There was a lot of that going on. You know what I mean? Fresh out of your
Well,
vacation.
that's always the case. I mean, listen, man, I'll tell you a story, man. I won't name the coach, but, I learned this a long time ago. So I had a coach go into a press conference over a decade ago and literally went off. Stephen A. don't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't know why they allowed this guy to report. I mean, blah, blah, just going off about something that I reported in Philadelphia, out of Philadelphia and stuff like that. Got up from the podium, walked by everybody, walked by me as well, and made sure everybody saw him frown at me, and then winked at me and kept walking. And he and I had dinner that night.
Wow, jeez.
I'm a reporter first. Yeah, I'm a personality. I'm a commentator and all of this other stuff. But I've been covering sports for 30 years. And so when I sit up there and I say something, okay, if somebody want to say I'm wrong, okay, how I'm wrong. Don't tell me I lied. That means somebody else is lying because I don't make shit up. I say what I report. That's what I do. And I have sources all over the place. When I came off vacation, and what you're alluding to, I will remind you that I had been at the Errol Spence Jr. Terrence Crawford fight. Did you see all of those folks at that fight? The athletes, coaches, GMs, the owner, everybody was at that fight. You don't think Stephen A. spoke to anybody? Getting a Hennessy and Coke, chilling out. Got my girl, my family with me, and I ain't doing shit. You really, really think that? Really? You don't think for 1 second that me, who's been known as being a reporter and an insider for the better part of 30 years, didn't talk to anybody? And so when somebody sits up there and says something, I'm like, okay, go ahead and say what you don't say, do what you don't do. It's all right. There's a track record. Go look it up. Google me if you have to. Some people talk about reporting. I've actually done it.
Oh,
that's what it is.
I love it. I enjoy the fact that, because you were gone, what, 2 months? How long?
Just about.
Yeah.
Was
took 2 weeks off, came back 2 weeks, took another 2 weeks
Oh,
off.
okay. All right. It's we're sitting here just like, what the hell? Where, we appreciate because
you texted me telling me to get the hell back to work.
Yeah, bingo.
I was like, I got you.
Well, I understand that you're going to take a break during the off season. Those off season shows are, buddy, those are the worst. Can't wait for them here on ESPN. But you are a part of our morning, pal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a massive piece of our operation over here. And then one day leads to two. We're like, oh, he must take the week off. Okay, we got Stephen A. back on Monday.
Here we go.
Then we came back for the next week.
Wait a minute.
Where the hell? This guy quit? What?
Yeah.
This guy, you got to figure it out. You did it right. Whenever you're off, though, next year, we need to be told, please, because we'd like to
My
do
brother,
the same.
I've been on a mission. I've been on a mission over the last several months. I've lost 32 pounds. My cholesterol is dipped by my A1C levels. I was on the verge of being diabetic. Now I dropped that by went from a 0.6 or 6.3 to 5.3. I have not been playing around. I've been on my mission, on my health. And that's what I actually spent all summer doing. I worked out 6 days a week. If I wasn't lifting weights, I was boxing. If I wasn't doing that, I was doing Pilates. If I wasn't doing that, I was at the chiropractor. I ain't playing around. doing what I got to do.
Hey, those boxing videos, somebody's trying to do harm to you, but I know if they ran up on you, though, you got them. No problem.
My boxing video, that boxing video was not a boxing video. It sucked, first of all.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
Two
saying.
rotator cuffs. Thirdly, I had a coach that, a damn weightlifting coach that told me it's not a torn rotator cuff. You just need to swing and just work it out because your shoulder's tight. That was ridiculous.
Oh, my
But
God. You
it's
need
no
a second
matter.
opinion.
I always tell my boxing coach to leave it up there. If somebody is dumb enough to think that is how I fight, roll up on me.
I like it. You sandbagging everybody with videos.
Yep.
Yeah, this is what I look like. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I ain't trying to beat you or AJ though. I'm not stupid. You
Well,
know
look
what
at
I'm
the
saying?
size of that dome. Here's a question for you. Nobody wants to mess.
I'm not trying to do something like that.
Look at that guy's head. Yeah, you're breaking your hands on that forehead
Exactly.
right there. Go ahead, AJ.
Oh, I know. I don't want to get away from all this boxing talk, which that's a nice little idea of you. Put that out there and let someone walk up on you. But I wanted to get to the Packers quick and Jordan Love. You expect him to continue to play this way? Obviously, they go into Chicago and get a huge victory. You expect him to fall off? What's going to happen? This O-line.
It's not about falling off. It's not about falling off. I think that here's how I view it. I view Aaron Rodgers to be one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. Like I said, top one or two talent-wise. Certainly not resume because he only got one ring. But Aaron Rodgers is that dude to me. I've always felt that way about him. He knows that. I don't expect Jordan Love to be him. And to me, if you're Matt LaFleur and you're the Green Bay Packers and you couldn't get it done with with Aaron Rodgers, why would I think you can get it done with Jordan Love? Now, I understand he can play. Probably he's no scrub. I'm not trying to throw shade on him. Aaron Jones can ball. This kid Watson can ball. Romeo, where Arthur Romeo Dobbs, he can play. I get all of that. Defense is relatively decent. Offensive line is nothing to sneeze at. But it's going to come down to Matt LaFleur calling plays and a guy like Jordan Love being able to execute. And what you're asking me to believe is that after seeing the Green Bay Packers lose two consecutive playoff games in the season finale on their home turf over the last 3 seasons, that somehow, some way, somebody's going to come along and succeed Aaron Rodgers and do better than he did. I just find that very, very, very difficult to believe. I think it's a logical position to have.
I think LaFleur thinks that now his system is going to be run how his system is supposed to be run because Jordan will run it exactly how the play call, where maybe Aaron was taking a little different liberties and wanting to do a little bit different thing. Yep. I think LaFleur, definitely big question mark on how he'll perform this year. Gutekunst, obviously, he's the one who made this decision to move into this next generation, this next era of the Packers. Seemingly started without a hitch. Yeah. He will be judged upon how it goes. I think good. Steven, do you like maybe you like this guy? Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Stephen A., you mentioned the Dolphins are coming, and I couldn't agree more, but I also kind of think the Dolphins might be here right now. Do you think that, if Tua does stay healthy, I think we all hope that he does, that he could go on and, possibly put himself into that MVP candidate category this season? And what do you think is realistic expectations for Dolphins fans?
Well, when I say that's the brother terminology, my man. I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah,
right now.
white
brother.
boy, shut up.
Okay, good to know.
They're coming. They're coming. That's all it is. All right,
coming.
So that's number one.
With
Number two, I would tell you that.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle is something special. I think that when you look at Tua, the only question about him is his health. And I tell you what, I think that, and you guys know this better than me, you're going to see folks trying to put a hat on him because the alternative is to have to think about defending Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You don't want that. What you want to do is compromise them in any way that you possibly can. And the only way to do it is by really putting a hat on a quarterback and rattling him, because obviously he's shown via at least 3 concussions last year that he can be rattled.
Whoa,
I beat Miami in that regard, but I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. Not at all. I love Tua. I love his skill set. Loved him when he was at Alabama. Loved him when he came in at halftime for Jalen Hurts and won him a national championship against Georgia. And his connection with Tyreek Hill can't be ignored. Tyreek Hill's averaging like 108 yards a game, with Tua throwing him the ball in 75 a game when that's not the case. And so I just view Tua as big time. And Tyreek Hill, I think, is the scariest player in the NFL.
Yes.
He is just something special.
Yeah, he's the greatest deep threat since Randy Moss. Obviously, he looks very different than Randy does, but somehow he's still not covered, And I don't know how that works. And shout out to the Dolphins O-line, keeping Tua relatively clean. And on the flip side of that, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Stephen, and when you look at the Chargers, they're not exactly the Cowboys in terms of going into a season, getting all this hype, and everyone say, oh, hey, the Chargers should go be in a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl this year because of Herbert. But for whatever reason, last year they choke big time in the playoffs. This game, they have all these stars on defense, and they still get lit up. Do you think we're looking at another Phillip Rivers here with Herbert, where he has unbelievable stats, goes out there and lights up the scoreboard, but ultimately he's just never going to win?
Unfortunately, I think that's the case as long as Brandon Staley's the coach.
Oh no,
That's how I feel.
you're out on him. Well, you don't like. Yeah.
I've been out on him since he gave up a 27-0 lead in the postseason. You don't do that. You don't do that. And listen, man, it's 27-0. Look, Pat, I'm just a different breed. That brother would have flown home commercial. He wouldn't have get on color. I'm telling you right now. He'd have flown home commercial. You can't lose a 27-0 lead in a
playoff game
to a quarterback making his first postseason appearance and threw 4 damn interceptions in the first half. How'd that happen? He throws 4 interceptions in the first half, 3 or 4 interceptions in the first half. Trevor Lawrence can't look like he can figure anything out. You're up 27-0, and you lose 31-30 in a playoff game. Really? I'm sorry. Oh no. Listen, Brandon Staley would have been fired in Jacksonville. He would not have made it out of that locker room with a job if I was the owner. I promise you that he'd been gone, because there's something to be said when there's something missing when you are a coach and your team gives up a 27-0 lead in a playoff game at halftime. There's something about the pulse of the team that you don't have. That's just my personal belief. I'm not questioning his X's and O's. I'm sure he deserves the opportunity to be a coach. They haven't been sorry, but to lose like that, I'm sorry. You look at yesterday's outcome, it wasn't surprising. You knew that they had the ball with enough time and they were going to make something happen. And somehow, some way, the Chargers wasn't going to. And 9 times out of 10, you're thinking about that because Brandon Staley is the coach. It's not because Justin Herbert is the quarterback.
The 27-0 thing was just, if you really start looking into a lot of stuff that Staley has done, it can get it can get really deep, but a lot of things come in like, but it's an entertaining brand of football and he's trying to do his thing. It's like Herbert is going to be judged on how all of these games go, and he seems to show up every single time. Jeff Saturday lost, after a 33-0 lead. So Staley's saying it can get worse. Yes. But Saturday got fired.
He did.
You know what I mean? Staley has still been handed the keys for a weapon that is incredible. And the team that they lost 27 after having a 27, we got to see them yesterday. They're good, Stephen A. Jacksonville is good all of a sudden, I think.
Yeah, Stephen A. And you brought up this guy.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, you brought up this guy's name earlier. I think people forgot that Calvin Ridley is that dude, and he's going to help that team go far this year, I think.
Absolutely. I think that 1-2 punch of Lawrence to Ridley, I think that's something that can't be ignored. And again, we saw Trevor Lawrence coming. He's the number 1 overall pick. We know that. We know what we expected to bring him to bring to the table. Nobody has a snowball's chance in hell of getting a hair endorsement than him. Nobody will beat him with hair endorsements. I mean, Palomalo's retired. He's any hair commercials Trevor Lawrence is going to own. But on top of it all, he goes out on the field and he shows that he's worth it. And now he's being coached by a guy, Peterson, who knows a thing or two about winning because he won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia and knows a thing or two about coaching quarterbacks. He won it with Nick Foles, for crying out loud. So I look at it from that perspective, and I just say, you got the coaching, you got the quarterback, you got a star receiver. It starts there. And the Jacksonville Jaguars have it.
Yeah, they certainly do. And, we were watching this all unfold, and there were some plays that Trevor Lawrence made where you're like, oh, yeah. That's the guy that last year everybody started saying he's going to be one of the next ones because his first year didn't have an NFL coach. And then last year with Doug Peterson getting involved, he took off and obviously wins a playoff game. My big question is, Peterson's not calling the plays anymore, right? Who's calling the plays over there? Gumpy, do we remember?
Press Taylor? I forget his name, but it's their OC. He took it over this year. I don't know why.
We learned that literally yesterday morning before the game started, and we thought we were going to be in a great spot.
Press Taylor, yeah.
He's got to figure it out, too. They beat up the Colts. It was fun to watch. Trevor Lawrence is going to grow. How do you feel about tonight? Who do you got winning?
I got the Jets winning this game. I think the crowd is going to be bananas. I think that the Jets are going to be very prepared because they watched the Giants stink up the state of New Jersey last night and New York and the New York Broadway, and they don't want that to happen. So I think they'll be ready for this matchup. They'll be hyped. And I think the Buffalo Bills, it'll be a competitive matchup, make no mistake about it. But I see Aaron Rodgers coming through in a very, very big way. I think it's a nail biter. I think it comes down to the wire, and I think Aaron Rodgers closes the deal. I'm predicting something along the lines of 27-24.
Oh, what a game that would be, because the Giants tried to ruin the 2023 NFL season with the first big primetime game just being an absolute dud.
Yeah. That was bullshit.
Right.
So hopefully the Jets will pick
40
it up.
to nothing.
Yeah, that's bad, bro. That was bad.
Yeah.
First
well, I've been saying all year, they got Saquon Barkley in a bag of chips on offense. That's what I said about him. And sure enough, Daniel Jones, that's what he ended up looking like. It's just the truth. I mean, somebody's got to say it, man. And listen, as football players, you guys get to dissect and analyze things in a very, very astute way, and nobody can refute that. And I know in all seriousness, it goes far, far deeper than that. And for somebody that never played the game of football to be talking like that, it can rub folks the wrong way. But I speak on behalf of the people. And so what happens is that when you're out in the street and you talking and you watching, at the end of the day, all of those nuances are not what people care about. They care about results. And at the end of the day, when you sign 4 years for $160 million, when you get a $40 million a year deal, all right, and then you just play like hot garbage, all right? You collectively, as a team, that goes a long way towards the quarterback, because we did ask ourselves, was Daniel Jones worth this? Now, it's going against an elite defense with the Dallas Cowboys. And again, it's not that you lost. It's that you got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's that you got romped. And when something like that happens, it requires an explanation. And the explanation is you had Saquon Barkley in the bag of chips.
Yep.
So because of that wasn't much to go against the Cowboys.
Yeah, it was a bad bag, too. It was one of those bags with more air
Oh, the worst.
actual chips.
Fake
That's
plays.
really what started to happen here as of late. We appreciate you joining us, man. You're the best.
No doubt. Good to see y'all, man. Y'all take it easy. Keep doing the great work, man. Congratulations on everything.
I'll see you tomorrow morning. Can't wait for it. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, Stephen A.
All right, let's get to a break. I mean, he was...
Unreal.
He said elite Cowboys defense right there.
Yeah,
But then he also said, don't worry, they'll all collapse at some point. I've been a prophet for 27 years.
Be
Not a
patient.
fan of Dak.
What a human, bro. Yeah, they got this, they got that. CD, number one guy for sure. Tony Pollard, number one guy for sure. Got a head coach who won a Super Bowl. Offensive line looks to be incredible. What's that other piece? Dak Prescott.
IQB.
How do you think Dak feels about Stephen A?
Oh, I'm sure he loves it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's not about Tad Prescott.
Daniel Jones. How's Daniel Jones feel?
Wow. Daniel Jones got a lot more to answer to than,
Yeah.
You're right.
than Stephen A. today.
He's
That
worried
was
about his
tough.
life first and foremost.
Yeah, DJ's locked in. He's on Wall Street right now.
Oh, I feel pretty good about it. I'll throw the Duke. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, ball's so big. All right, we'll be back on the other side with Scott Van Pelt, host of Monday Night Countdown starting this evening. I believe he's live in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. Can't wait to catch up with old SVP about his vibes going into his first show, and also what should we expect from tonight. We also got overreactions from around the internet on the hashtag I don't want to overreact, but ended up number 2 trend at one point. We appreciate you all. Plus more goodness, hopefully. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 4. Hey, we're gonna fucking smoke some.
Hell yeah.
Y'all get it out of your system now, because I'm going to annihilate your asses. Just saying.
We can't get lapped. That is hey, Pat, deal? Can't get lapped. Boys, nobody can get lapped.
Let's go.
Team on 3, team on me, 1, 2, 3. Team.
You're all in trouble.
Actual, you think you'll lap one person, 2 people? How many people?
I say at least one.
Laps one person, will donate $25,000 to a charity of his choice. If he laps 2 people, it'll be $50,000 to a charity of your choice. And if you don't lap anybody, it's on you to give $10,000.
Deal.
All right, here we go. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Good luck. Hey, boys. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Warm up them tires. Let me warm up them tires. Let me warm up them tires. Here we go. Man, you are awesome. You are awesome, dude. You know, there's professionals at things. There's professional walkers, believe it or not. They're in the Olympics. They're speed walkers. They walk better than we do, even though every human knows how to walk. There's professional eaters, okay? Every human on earth eats. They're better than you are at eating somehow. Everybody drives. This motherfucker drives. Thank you so much for coming, Tony.
Yes, sir.
Didn't laugh any of us though. 10 grand, 2 donation, but he definitely smoked us. Hey, that's called getting smoked by smoke. Cheers, NHRA in Indianapolis, Labor Day weekend. It's gonna be a blast. They're going 330 miles an hour. He's going 280 miles an hour. They're racing all day. A lot of boozing, I think, in the crowd. I've been there a couple times, yeah.
Oh, Bill! Oh, Bill, good boy! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh! Oh, no! Oh, no, Bill!
Hey,
Why?
let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Overreaction Monday, September 11, 2023, hour 3 of this program starts now. Football is happening tonight. That's AJ Hawk at a baby. We heard you. Talks the tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. And 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler joining us now. Is not in studio. No, he is actually on location of the Monday Night Football game because tonight his on-site Monday Night Football countdown hosting gig begins.
Yep. Boom.
This guy's brain, if you've gotten a chance to listen to it over the last 20 years, is a great one. Not only is he at his own sports center late at night that you get a chance to sleep with him. You know, I'll doze off, he's talking.
Yep.
I'll wake up, he's in the middle of talking again. Me and this man have slept together. Me and this man have done magical things. And tonight, I can't wait to see what he does with this new opportunity. From Maryland, Scott Van Pelt.
Thank you, boys.
Hey, first of all, congratulations. We are all very, very happy that you were chosen to do what you're going to do tonight. You have any jitters, any nerves, any anxiety looking ahead to what we got this evening?
Yes, because I've done it. You know what it is and when you've done something for a long time, and I've done SportsCenter for a long time, you get into a comfortable place, but comfortable and complacent can be side by side, right? And the last thing you want to do is get to a place where you feel like, yeah, Dan Patrick and I talked about this, right? He's one of the all-timers. Do you reach a place where, you know, you start being too comfortable and then people start noticing, hey, this guy sucks. You know? Like the last thing you want is to feel like you've reached that place where you can just trust that you know how to do it. Like, I don't know how to do this, Pat. Like, I know how to host a television show, but I've never hosted this one. And this was theirs before I got here. So I don't feel like I'm not trying to come in here and elbow my way around. But I think I looked at how you did what you did with Game Day.
Well,
where you just blend into the people that were in recognized. This is a collaborative thing. It's not mine, it's ours. And the best success is always shared success, not individual. So I just want to be a great teammate. No joke. Like I hope that's not cliche because that's how I sincerely feel.
No, and it is cliche because that's how a lot of great teams operate. And a show is a team. I was very lucky to join the Game Day crew as we got your guy, Stanford Steve, who is a weapon for us behind this. I love that man. I do. He had dinner with us on Friday night. Got some good stories. Had a little tequila.
What?
I mean, he is awesome. I love that guy. But now our attention is facing towards Bills-Jets September 11th in the shadows of New York City. I assume there's going to be a lot of tribute and conversation about the, September 11th and its historic relevance, or how are we handling that?
I felt, Pat, and this is a conversation we had on the flight up here, and I don't mean this to be in any way disrespectful to if someone is in a place in the country that isn't here, how does this day resonate with you? Because it's intensely personal in New York because it happened in New York. It happened to America, but it happened largely in New York. And so when we start, it's my intent to be reverent to the date and recognize what it is because it's a significant day in American history and in New York history. At the same time, sports offered the opportunity post 9/11 for New Yorkers and people around the country to gather together and do what we love to do. Sports are our greatest connector. I really believe that's true. And you see it every week when you're out there on the road, whether it's wrestling, whether it's college football, whether it's whatever it is, it's our greatest connector. And so acknowledge what this day is. It's significant. But also acknowledge that New Yorkers are going to come, 80,000 of them, to this joint tonight to cheer the guys in green. And there'll be some Western New York in the building cheering the guys in blue. So let's celebrate that because that's kind of who we are as Americans, right? That's what we do.
Yeah, we honor, you'll acknowledge, and then we move forward into a unifying message of tonight, week 1, NFL ends with a great game. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah.
How do you think this game's going to go, SVP? Obviously, we don't a lot up in the air. We're not exactly sure how the Bills are going to be. That people act like they're down. I think they're flying under the radar in a great spot. And we've seen the kind of hype train throughout Hard Knocks with the New York Jets. Hopefully, for them, they come out on fire because I think people might be a bit worried if they stumble out of the gates. How do you think it starts tonight?
Put it this way. The other tenant in MetLife better be better than the team in blue on Sunday night. My God.
Bad.
I mean, rarely do you see a team get dump trucked the way the Giants were. So the good news for the city is that the Jets can't possibly be that bad. I have the sneaking suspicion that we get the best of Aaron Rodgers. And having said that, if I'm Sean McDermott and I'm Buffalo, I tell my guys, look, we're the favorite in this game and we're the favorite in this division, but everyone's lining us up like we're coming in here to take an L tonight. That's not why we had. That's not why we came down here. It's a rare spot where a favorite can lean into kind of an underdog role. But I have to think that we'll see the best of Rodgers, and I have to think that the bright lights of Monday night, where he's been unbelievable, we get the best of who he is. And frankly, I just want to see what it looks like, right, AJ? Because we don't really know. We don't know how they're going to use Cook, how they're going to use Breece Hall. What's it going to look like when Wilson and Rodgers are trying to, dial it up for 4 quarters, not just one drive against the Giants. So I think the biggest mistake we make is entering into a week 1 thinking we know when we don't.
Yeah,
and then the bigger mistake we make is taking 60 minutes of football and turning that into, wow, the Bengals suck. No, they don't. They probably lost 1 game. You know what I mean?
Well, it's Overreaction Monday, so please have some respect. You know what I mean?
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, please.
Bengals suck.
No, they don't. We have no idea what's real and what isn't at this stage, but it is nice to lose our minds for it. Tonight, are you guys looking ahead to the game, or are you doing a lot of recap as well? What is the balance of this evening?
It's a healthy dose of both. I mean, our intent, weather permitting, is to talk to Joe and Troy about this one. I mean, you're talking about a man in Troy that's won a bunch of Super Bowls. Joe and Troy have called them. It's a regular season game, so let's not make it a Super Bowl. At the same time, given all that's baked into this one, the date, Rodgers' debut, Jamar's not going to play, but he's still here and healthy, thank God, and someday we'll play again, we hope. It's a lot about tonight. At the same time, you get that first buffet of Sunday football, and there's plenty to dive into. So there's some looking back, but the heavy side of the scale is looking at tonight's game because it's the best one on the schedule, and we just hope that it's the best game in reality.
We can't wait to celebrate it alongside you guys. Starting at what time tonight are you guys live?
6 bells.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's go. That's awesome.
Tone Diggs has a question for you, SVP.
Yeah, SVP. I've watching you over years. I kind of got an idea potentially of your angle, and you kind of alluded to it. So this upcoming weekend, week 2, does that mean you're going to be betting on the Bengals, Seahawks, Steelers, and Giants? Is that how we're working forward?
If you're familiar with my strategy, I want to know who no one likes, and then I jump on them with both feet. And that had me going to the window on Nebraska last Saturday. How'd that work out? Look, you can't just blindly fade the public, but if someone looks just dreadful, I love the opportunity to then back that side because that things have a way of evening themselves out. So it's early in the week. We got to sharpen our pencil. I had a 6-6 week. I got very aggressive in the winner segment, and it was way too many. I need to just be a bit more judicious when I figure out who we're going to back on television.
Will you talk gambling tonight on Monday Night Countdown?
No. I mean, there's like FanDuel segments, but I mean, it's an interesting line, Pat, that we're navigating these days, right? I mean, it was forever the third rail, and now there's partners for these teams. So listen, I try to be respectful to what our bosses have in mind, but at some point, I think we're all kind of in the pool here, and we can just acknowledge that. But I mean, I'm not blatantly like telling you who you ought to be like firing on tonight. I mean, I figure I got that space on Thursdays on our show on SportsCenter, which we do. But no, I mean, it's not like a scripted part of the program.
You got to let it in there, though. You know what I mean? You got to let it in there. You just kind of, you know what I mean? A
little bit.
Like Musburger used to do.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
We're all grown-ups here, boys, aren't we? We're all adults. We know what time it is.
Yeah, we literally just saw a commercial before you went live telling me if I bet $5, I win $100. And then I also get free YouTube TV if I go ahead and do that. And then all of a sudden you go, I think this team is due to win by 2 points. You know what I mean? It's like it is a balance. You're the right guy for it, though. Honestly, you are the right guy to do it.
Well, I mean, I listen again. I don't want to start talking, crazy. I just think these networks are giving away money, and I just don't know where the line is. I don't know what's out of bounds and what's not. You know what I mean?
Nailed it. Nailed it. That was an incredible Pittsburgh Yinzer accent. Obviously, as AJ Hawk drops off the conversation, he was so disgusted that there was no scripted gambling talk tonight in the Monday.
Sorry, AJ.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Wait. AJ just quit the show.
Done.
I mean, that is something that's going to happen. Ty has a question for you.
SVP, considering it is Overreaction Monday, when you look at yesterday, the Commanders' performance and Sam Howell, I mean, a couple weeks ago, everyone's saying, hey, Ron Rivera's a big dumb dipshit. This guy needs to get fired. He's at the end of his run. But then they win yesterday, and I don't want to say convincing fashion, but what's the temperature of the Commanders around the greater D.C. area today?
They won. It was not a work of art, and no one cares because they're in first place in the NFC East, tied with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Right? I mean, it's always funny, right? Half the NFL fan bases get to wake up Monday and say, "Hey, we're 1-0," and you feel good about it. I mean, the honest answer about how people feel in the area is they're just happy there's been an ownership change, and getting the city back on board is. I don't say it's all that matters, but it's pretty high right next to are they good or not. And everything feels different there. And it's hard to explain unless you're from there or you've been there. That place used to be bananas. I think that fan base used to be on par with any in the NFL. I'm biased, but maybe superior to any. But it deteriorated to the fact that it's mostly gone. So Josh Harris and his team have a lot of work to do. But, you start with you have to beat the team that you're supposed to beat. They did that. And we'll see how many they win. But, it feels better around there than it has in decades, and that's a start, man.
Yeah, the fact that they were even supposed to beat anybody, though, is good.
Yeah,
like in that game, the Cardinals were the dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Not the Commanders. Mm-hmm. That's a win.
Right.
No poop pipes, right?
None.
No poop pipes burst on anybody in the stadium. That's
railings
good.
held up, too.
We're in a good...
I don't think that happened. And it was mostly Commanders fans as opposed to, literally that place was like a bingo hall every Sunday you could rent out. Whichever team you're playing, come in and take it over. It was free of charge. They did.
Yeah, just keep your head on swivel because these pipes do burst and you'll get
Could be poop.
You'll be poop.
Could be poop falling.
$40 million
beware falling poop.
Hey, $40 million renovation. Sam Howell looks like he's a guy. New ownership, obviously.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow. Hey, I don't know if you saw this. Your head did this thing we saw. Yeah. Didn't say anything. It said a lot.
I'm a Howell fan. Want to see some poise there right before halftime. The ball to the Cardinals. Just want to see. Look, they got lucky. When he was at Carolina, he was thought to be a first-round guy. He slipped to the 5th round. That was it was found money there. but I just need to see a little more poise before halftime. You got to value the pill, baby.
I do love just. Didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
Didn't have to say anything. Just got a lot of questions. That's why you're the best. Speaking of, tonight's going to be awesome. Last question here from D-Butt.
Hey, SVP, can't wait to see you crush it tonight. I know as a player, Monday Night Football was kind of the pinnacle for us. You know, you had Sunday Night Football, that's great, but Monday Night Football was that day where you knew everybody was watching. What are you most looking forward to tonight, starting a new gig?
When it's over, I just want to have it. I just want to do one, so I know what it feels like. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, when I got to do my version of SportsCenter, it was sort of my canvas. So it's like, all right, whatever we put on this, good, bad, or indifferent, like I'll own it. If it works, great, and if it doesn't, all right. I feel like I'm moving into an apartment where I got roommates and they've been there. So out of respect to the people who produce it and the people who've been there and the people who've hosted before, Boomer, Mike Tirico, the late great Stuart Scott, Susie Colbert, these are friends, these are legends. I just don't want to F it up, man. What I look forward to is hoping to be a decent steward. I take my cues from a guy like Reese Davis, who's an incredible host. Everybody sitting around me are the stars. Just don't F it up. And ultimately, it's a game, man. You kind of can't screw it up. Just let's have the enthusiasm for what tonight's about, and let's have fun. And my big boy Stanford Steve just gave me a peek. I got him along by. If I got him, how could I lose?
Hey, how's he doing? We missed him this morning. He was traveling for Monday Night Football. I get a chance to normally hear his brain on Monday mornings, and it makes me better. Now all of a sudden I missed him. My whole day's ruined. Tell him that, please.
I'll tell him to get with you when you're done. Honestly, am I overselling this? He's the best. There's nobody better than that dude.
We love his energy.
Yep.
I love the way his brain operates. I like the way you said new show, right? You're moving into somebody's apartment that's already been made. I felt like that with Game Day. You know, you don't want to really step on any toes. Stanford Steve has had to do that as well, but he is navigated. Well, shouldn't we maybe talk about, and every time he says it, I'm like, this guy knows.
Yeah.
This guy knows TV right here. He's a big bald doofus that knows TV right here. He's good.
He's the best. You know what it is? If you're in this life, Pat, and you got it, if you're lucky enough to have people around you who've got your back, who want to see you do well, and you can help them be part of, like, again, it's all about shared success. Like having that guy along for the ride wherever we go and seeing him shine on game day, like that's the best, man. The best.
How'd he do? How does his picks do?
His picks suck. He needs to tighten it up because I mean, somebody decided he needs to give out 6 a week. Like, there's a number between 0 and 6. I mean, I feel like he needs to sharpen the pencil and maybe dial it back a little bit. But you know how it is. The producer wants more. If some is good, more is better. But his picks are garbage at the moment. We need to get that taken care of.
Yeah, I think we do need to change the vibes a little bit around it. Let's make a baker's dozen.
Ooh, I like
and then
that.
we'll put him in like we'll put him in one of those
chef
hat with the
apron.
The apron, and he's
saying the Swirsky, right? The baker's dozen. Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, go buckshot. Throw him out there. See what the hell happens.
Give him a spatula too, and it's a pancake actually.
With the
and he tosses it.
logo on it.
Yeah, make him do 13 picks.
Who's the big brain? Pat's got the big brain.
It's all of us. We can't wait to watch you tonight. Congratulations. You've earned it. You deserve it, and you're going to crush it. You're the best, pal.
I appreciate you, boys. Have a great Monday, all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah.
It's going to be good tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, unbelievable.
Who is it? It's RG3.
Yep.
Swagoo.
Yep.
Who just signed a new deal, they said.
Swagoo.
Him and Mina Kimes both signed deals. I don't know if anybody's saying it's their fault that everybody got fired, but I am happy they got their deals.
Absolutely.
A little different outcomes. Different reactions.
Yeah, a little bit.
Very.
Well, joining us now is a man who didn't have any service, but boy, he's got takes. AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
AJ, good to see you. What happened, pal? We got the triangle exclamation point out of your face.
Yeah, I did too. I thought the whole show shut down, but unfortunately, it was just me and my new setup shut down. So yeah, we'll see. It's been a while.
You're loving that so far, huh?
It has been a while since that happened, huh?
We're working the kinks out. We're working the kinks out currently.
It's been a couple years since one of those has popped up.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in quite some time.
Has it really? Oh man, yeah, it has.
Does he not have the redundancy?
Oh yeah.
What changed?
How many
Man,
finals?
I really got that zeroed in. I had got that zeroed in after a rough start 3 or 4 years ago.
Now listen, there's been a lot of great people that we've worked alongside here at ESPN.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people, too, who have zero respect for anything that we've done at all.
That's also true.
So, like, your internet, your camera, your microphone, not to our standards. You have to change everything. Now, granted, all of our cameras, microphones, and everything, we had to downgrade to, to catch up to catch back to where ESPN stuff is. But boy, whenever we found out that they were planning on going into this guy's attic, we knew it was going to work out great, didn't we?
Right.
We knew it
Pumped for it.
from the beginning.
I like it. You know, I love adversity. I love figuring these things out. I love trying to get it all dialed in.
The Hawk family loves adversity.
Oh, yeah.
Living it.
Speaking of adversity, there's some fan bases that are going through some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's some fan bases that are on top of the world. This morning, I put out a good morning, beautiful people. Now is the time for you to lose your minds and not be judged for it. No, rather celebrated. All you had to use was the hashtag I don't want to overreact, but, and you go ahead and put your thoughts out there. And as Ty Schmidt scrolled through the number 2 trending topic, we can't thank you enough for participating. You people are the greatest. You found your top what?
Yeah, I pulled about 10 of them. There were 10 very good, a lot of very good ones, but, I wasn't expecting people to overreact this much today. I know it's week 1. We haven't done this in a while, but, boy, there were some good ones.
We put the bird call out. People certainly answered. Tashman went through them. Let's dive in. The first one from Phantom32. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Anthony Richardson is going to be the best QB in the NFL in 2 years' time. The guy's a dog, and his accuracy problems don't even seem to be a problem. Best performance by a Colts rookie quarterback. Get him MH Jr., and the Colts are the new Chiefs.
You guys are going to have to be pretty bad. Get
Yeah,
that guy.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is who he wants.
That guy's not even in the NFL.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
That guy's still in Columbus, Ohio.
That's right.
Well, Phantom, I appreciate what you're talking about. You're talking about a Phantom NFL player, one that isn't even in the NFL. We get him, we're going to be okay. Michael Pittman Jr. had some big-time plays.
Yeah, he did.
But when we're talking about accuracy issue, there was a few plays where it looked like he was guiding it, okay? There was one where he was rolling to the right, and there was a drag route coming across, tight end Granson, I believe. And instead of just naturally just putting the ball to him, you saw him like kind of ease up and throw it. Almost threw it over his head. Granson had to make this massive catch and get the first down. But the first person to greet him was Anthony Richardson saying, hey, that's on me. I apologize completely. So to Phantom's point, there was so much good out of Anthony Richardson. And the things that they said he wasn't going to be good at didn't really affect us that much in the negative against the Jacksonville Jaguars team that is very good. But his poise, his moxie, and the respect that the boys show for him is something that makes me say, we got a guy, and I think Phantom agrees.
A whole lot of good we saw there from 5 yesterday. And to his point, the accuracy problems don't seem that big. It was that one bad throw late on that levels route.
Yeah, that's what Pitt with a minute something left.
Tyson
Can't
Campbell,
have it.
can't have it. Got to take care of the ball. Tyson Campbell made a great play, went up and got it. But what he can do with his legs, obviously got to continue to take care of himself. MP Jr. looked good. Downs look good. Got to get some more targets down the field of Pierce, but I think we continue to build around him. I think he's only getting better.
Pierce had less catches than a guy named Funk who was on the team, and I didn't even know that Funk was on the team.
Jake Funk.
Funk's about a 5'4" white guy who plays running back. Yeah. He was a nice little outlet pass for old Anthony Richardson. Alec Pierce, he's Phantom. He's an actual ghost, that guy. What the hell is going on there?
Yeah, he was nowhere to be seen, but Josh Downs was awesome for the Colts.
Had drops in preseason.
Yes.
Downs could not catch a ball in preseason. Like, actual worrisome. Like, undersized, is taking massive hits in preseason games. Normally, the smaller guys have to be able to avoid contact. He was dropping every pass that was thrown to him. Yesterday, that was not the case.
No.
Yesterday, he was getting the ball early and often, was making plays and didn't take big shots. I think we got a guy in Downs. Now, the other positions we got to figure out around it.
Yeah, for sure, and you need to figure out running back still. But with him being there with Pittman, that feels like a perfect combination. Just the atmosphere inside of Lucas Oil is different, though. It's just it is a completely different football game. When we walked in there, I mean, we were still there early, so we just kind of got to see the buzz, and there were a lot of people there. When Anthony Richardson runs out, and he was last, thank God, because that
baby Conte.
Yeah, wow. Way to go, Conte.
Conte, rookie quarterback, drafted 4 overall. You would assume, hey, we're going to have this guy get introed last, but sometimes organizations and programs get kind of in their own way.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. We don't want to put too much pressure on him. It's like he's quarterback, got drafted number 4 overall.
He knows.
The pressure is on him. You know what I mean? You said they asked him?
Yeah, cause I was talking to Conte before the game. He's like, hey, we went to ask him. Because he's going, like he told me, he's going last tonight. We went to ask him. He said, hell yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to get him to it. And hit that intro.
Sick.
I haven't been to a game there. That was my first one there. And I asked the boys. They said that's the biggest pop they've got in a while in the stadium.
That's a big pop. And also his spike, AJ, I don't know if you saw this, 360, like a dunk, spike. We need to see a lot more of this. This is the best spike that has happened in football. Hey! Jeez. They look good, didn't it? And then a salute afterwards. I wish it was on the other side. We might have seen him. and seen it. There's a couple cameras.
Just showcase this athleticism pretty well. Just this spike alone after the run.
Yeah, and Shane Steichen obviously going to be the perfect coach for Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of hope, Phantom. I'm on your side. We love everything he's about.
Was there still an angel hanging from the ceiling in there? Or?
Chris Angel accomplished his feat on Friday night where he did break Houdini's record by 2 seconds.
Boy, was that underwhelming.
What is that record?
It was getting out of a straitjacket while dangling to your death.
Yes.
So he didn't die.
What did you say, Tony?
You heard what I said.
What did you say, Tony?
I said, boy, was that underwhelming.
You weren't there.
I saw video.
Yeah,
video was amazing.
Yeah, there's so many freaking people there. It was not underwhelming.
He was suspended with a rope.
He raised $750,000.
That's really good. I didn't say that was underwhelming. I said that was kind of like when Blaine was just floating around in a hot air balloon calling it a magic trick.
Yeah, we were kind of bored with that one. And also when the Wild and Wonderful Walendas, when they start doing the walk thing, but they just have a bungee cord attached to them, it's like, well, you're not going to die. You're not going to die. So it's tough for us to buy into the death-defying thing if it's not actually death possible.
Right.
Everything's kind of gotten soft, okay, since 2020, probably 2018, when lawyers get involved in lawsuits and we learn from the past in these situations where people actually die. But if you're not impressed by old Wiggles up there, up by the damn Jumbotron in the sky, getting out of a straitjacket faster than Houdini was able to do it, come on.
I mean, he's spinning 8.
That's underwhelming.
Yeah, come on, Tony.
I mean, you know how many straitjackets he's gotten out of in his life?
He has to.
That's a part of it.
Yeah.
I expect him to do this in his sleep.
Look at him. He could do it in his sleep. He did it from
And where's the football?
1,000 feet. Look at that. That thing's still falling.
Where's the football
It's
pants?
coming down now. Who checked the jacket beforehand to make sure it was all strapped in?
Jim.
So it's funny you actually said that. So
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You did.
Don't do
you were
it.
one of the. You're the guy that confirmed it was. It was all,
No, I
way.
was given some information about the jacket.
What?
And
Oh, no.
I'm not going to say the second half of the information we were given, but Anthony Richardson on Friday night before his first start on Sunday was the person who was legitimizing Chris Angel's straitjacket. Chris Angel and I think DeForest Buckner were the ones that were pulling on the jacket to make sure it was legit. This is a real deal. Wow. I was told this by somebody very high up in the Colts organization who said, how many top 5 picks you think in the history of the NFL 2 days before their first start is checking a straitjacket for Chris Angel as he's about to break a Houdini record? That's the Colts difference, baby.
That's right.
That is the Colts difference. So Anthony Richardson was going to make sure that Chris Angel was okay in his new home, and the record was broken. And then on Sunday, Anthony Richardson did his thing. Yep, that is what happened.
Unreal.
Was it a Marvel halftime?
Okay, so he broke the record by 2 seconds, correct? Shouldn't there be like a Guinness Book of World Records? That person, that guy we always see on films? Was he
Yeah,
there?
Chris Angel made that fucker disappear, though. Like, it's hard to do that when the person's
He killed
not
him?
there.
He killed the guy?
Come on.
He could have
disappeared, and we got a missing person then. But what? Okay, I mean, you know what? I give him all the credit in the world. I'm not gonna. I have no more questions.
Doesn't
Chris
sound
Angel
like
killed
it.
him.
Okay, well, and then
I'm glad that Anthony Richardson could confirm that the straitjacket was all squared. Good to go. World record broken. What? When that 70-year-old record probably?
Yep.
70, 80-year-old?
This generation's Houdini broke Houdini's record. I mean, we're lucky for it. At Lucas Oil Stadium, $750,000 was raised for Chris Angel's foundation with that. And immediately upon Chris Angel surviving and breaking that record, they sent it over to the main stage with one spotlight on one face with a hat. And Jim Irsay said, John Lennon once told me and told an entire story, and then bang, he's off and running.
Nice.
Could you imagine how Jim Irsay feels?
Oh, my God.
He's got to feel like a fucking rock star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even
He is.
today.
He is.
Today
He is a
probably
rock
does.
star.
He's been watching terrible quarterbacks. Now he's finally got one.
You're telling me there's nobody there seen this Chris Angel thing?
Who said that?
Jim Irsay moves the needle, pal.
No,
I didn't know nobody was there.
Yeah, they showed up for Jim and Mellencamp. Mellencamp doesn't even stand for the national anthem. But I mean, there wasn't that many
Documented.
people there.
Yeah.
In that
True.
stadium.
It's true.
Sorry,
Seen it.
I
Quite
hold,
a conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hold Chris to a higher standard. I thought Chris would have floated over top of the stadium with no wires and got out of the straitjacket upside down on his own.
It was windy. He was supposed to walk.
Yeah.
He was supposed to actually airwalk above Lucas
That would have been
Oil,
my Chris.
but it was windy. So
He lifts other people. If Shaq were there, he could have lifted Shaq over. Lucas Oil. Shaq was busy.
Cool.
Shaq did an interview with that girl who talks soft and got real popular real quick.
Yeah.
Still don't understand how that happened.
What's her name?
I don't know her name, but I like the gimmick.
I like what she's doing. She showed up out of nowhere.
I enjoy the gimmick.
Congrats to her.
Who? Soft
talking white girl.
You know what I'm
just
talking
has a
about?
random podcast.
I do not. I don't think I know.
She just talks soft, and she showed up in my life within the last week.
She hates everything.
Yeah, she was in bed with Drake. She's the one that was doing the interview in Drake. That's how
Bobby Altoff.
There it is.
Bobby Altoff.
Definitely a real person.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Might be one of those
Not
AI
a
robots.
not a robot or a clone.
Let's talk about something that has happened around the NFL that we're not happy about. They had fake humans at this LA Rams game.
Can't do that.
Are you kidding me? It's SoFi?
Yeah. No,
What do you mean?
No, Chargers game, I guess. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
At the Chargers-Miami game, an instant classic took place on the field between Tua and Justin Herbert. And in the crowd, in the stands, fake humans. Fake-ass humans. AI, robots, sitting there watching the game as if they know what's going on. All the while, their ears are open.
Can't even tell.
Just know this, you little fake fucks. I'd boot both your heads off if I had to. We'd unplug you and knock you over, and you never get to stand again.
Hell yeah.
With that being said, I don't like that this is happening, AJ.
No, I
What
don't.
is the deal here? Why are these fake humans showing up at NFL games taking up seats?
Well, they're just they're pubbing a movie that Denzel Washington's boy is in. I believe it's called The Creator.
Good
So
boy.
I don't even think these things are functional. I think they just fucking sat him down, said, "Hey, look at these things." Although they might have. I mean, they might have started,
Did they
bumping
move
their
at all?
drums.
Did they move?
I don't think so. I think
They
just
probably
had
try to start a wave whenever they're on offense, like the worst fan of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the
Dude,
fans
probably
around
those
them.
sex dolls. It's a sex doll. They just put weird things on the ears for.
Oh, they took a page out of the old Korean baseball.
Yeah. Look at how nice. Maybe they are sex. Look how nice his skin is.
Put it in me.
His hands look real.
I mean, the right one has resting bitch face. I'm pretty pissed at all of the fans around him for not pouring beer on one of them and just taking them to town. Fucking beating their ass, showing them what football is all
I think you
about.
pour the beer on them, they're done.
Yeah.
Right? That'd be
Hopefully.
Head
But
explodes.
we don't know how these AI
Are they
work.
waterproof? Yeah, we don't know.
I don't like that they're shaking hands with these AIs, though. We need not do that.
I don't like movies that keep doing this. There was a scary movie where they put the scary people in the stands and everyone was scared. I didn't like it.
Oh yeah, where the Smile movie Tony's talking about,
Yep,
where they sat
there it is.
behind home plate and they all had that evil smile to
scary.
promote the movie.
And nobody watched the movie, though. So
No,
Yeah,
true.
It did get good ratings.
Did you see it?
No, it was on the cock.
Peacock. Let's go to another overreaction. My overreaction is keep those things the fuck out of our stadium.
Please.
Agreed.
Nate Hunter at Natey Hunter. You think they call him Nasty Natty or
Yeah, natty.
That guy
Natty,
is wild.
Natty Hunter? I don't want to overreact, but the Bengals are dead. Sell the team. Burrow gets paid and forgets how to play football. Overthrows T. Higgins 8 times. Can't move the ball in the red zone. It was a great NFL season. See you next year, says Natey Hunter, who's a Bengals fan. AJ, you feel the same way, huh?
I do not feel this way, but
Should.
there are plenty of people that will overreact and feel this way after one game, especially the first game of the season. I tend to enjoy the positive overreactions, like about Anthony Richardson, the one previous to this, more than the super negative overreaction.
Agree. I love a good optimism, but these overreactions sometimes so negative, kind of entertaining.
A little bit.
The thought, though, that the Bengals maybe have forgotten to play football is certainly one that we have to chat about. But also, Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow. He's going to figure it out. Or is he? Now he's got this big pocket. Darius?
I'm on the same page with AJ. He'll bounce back. 16 games left. A little shitty weather out there. No excuses, no explanation, but he'll figure it out. Rusty, no offseason, no preseason really, but he'll definitely figure it out, especially those weapons.
So the Browns said that they never really blitzed him in the past. But now that he had a calf, they decided to bring it. It worked. There was a couple plays. Myles Garrett looked like he was pretty comfortable on the football field.
That looked fun.
He's lined up over the center doing fake basketball moves. I almost brought it up to Stephen A. He's just dicking around on the football. Huh?
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah.
Hey.
Imagine trying to block this. If you're the center and he's head up on you like that. Good luck.
You're standing there with the ball. Is that Ted? No.
I think it is Teddy.
Is it Ted?
That's what he played. He was playing center last year.
No, we should not FaceTime him. They lost by 100. But, like, him standing there being like, all right, I got Miles. And then as he's doing it, Miles is this guy.
Hold on.
He's doing
Every
basketball.
center is so pissed when this happens. Every center, they're like, come on, man. This cannot be what they're doing.
This is a real game, Miles. What are you doing basketball cross-ups right now? All right, boom. Well, geez, Louise.
He's gone.
But think about the mindset that Myles Garrett has to be in
to be there. Let alone he's Myles Garrett and how good he is and how great of a day he had yesterday. But just to be in the mental capacity, just to be so comfortable dicking around in the middle of a division game is something that we should think about whenever we judge this Cleveland Browns team. Because obviously they hammered the Bengals yesterday, but inside that locker room feels like the mentals are in a great place, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, it does. Imagine that. You look at that rush. I don't know if we can pop it up again, but that 5-man rush. Myles Garrett he's standing, obviously doing fake crossover moves right in front of the center, and then everyone look at these wide stances, and you see number 5's eyeballing the quarterback to fall back under, and perfectly executed play. Yeah. But it just gives you. It's just such a tough thing to stop. I feel like talk to any offensive lineman, especially centers, they despise. They're like, there's got to be something else. We got to figure something out because this is not right.
This is awesome. This is what this is.
He had another huge one on a fourth down later. Yeah, they looked good under the new DC. Old Jimmy Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz. Mm-hmm. Schwartz is legit. He doesn't mess around. I like what he does.
He'll bring some accountability. He almost fought a coach.
Yeah. You already got that 5-down look, so that center knows, shit, I'm probably going to be one-on-one with this guy. And they already hate that with great pass rush. You saw it a bunch with Dallas putting Micah kind of over the guards, over the centers. You look up, you look back under, through your legs at the quarterback, look back up. That's got to be.
And Myles Garrett's just dancing. It's like, this guy's confident. All right, that's good.
Don't you hear, guys, the old cliche, get the quarterback off the spot, which means make him move. Don't let him just take a 3-5 step drop, hit his back foot, and let that thing fly. With Joe Burrow, obviously his calf, we saw him. He continued to stretch it and use a band on the sidelines. He kept trying to keep it going. Of course, they want him to move as much as possible, even if it's subtle movements here and there. Make him move, make him not feel comfortable, especially with that calf still hanging around, which worries me a little bit that it's still hanging around. That was almost like the first day of camp it happened.
And last week he said we got to watch these things and coach will monitor. Like Joey Burrow was speaking about it as if it was still a thing that we need to think about, because to your point, with how long it had been since he had played, a deal getting done that makes him the highest paid player of all time. Zach Taylor, the way he's handled it, I've kind of just threw it to the side. Like, this is not a real thing. He's going to be okay. Apparently it is real, and the Browns utilized it to their advantage. Let's go to another overreaction. This one's from Danielle Dizzy D, 87.
Nice.
87, you think favorite number? Year born?
Year born would be my guess.
Okay. 36 years old, Dizzy D doing her thing. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Packers are still kings in the North. Haven't seen such a smooth transfer of power since official AJ Hawk's birthday bash in January 6th. All right, obviously, AJ was born on January 6th. They threw him quite a little dust up over there. If you listen to Del Rio in the Capitol. I don't know if this was that smooth of a transition in D.C. on this particular day, but I do know in Green Bay, it was a nice baton pass off from Brett to Aaron, Aaron to Jordan thus far, even though playing the Chicago Bears, who earned the worst record in the NFL last season. Still pumped about it here, even after 3 hours of chat and Ty?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially going into the year, there was kind of, not people in the know were kind of saying like, hey, the Bears still stink, but there were still a lot of people out there who were like, hey, this team, the Packers are going to finish in the cellar. The Bears are way ahead of them. The Bears could even maybe, make the playoffs here. They could win the division potentially.
Could still do it.
They could.
But still, 16 games left.
They could. But boy, are they
6-1, baby.
And no, Jordan Love he did everything that, and he could still improve. That's the best part, is he did everything he needed to do to kind of dominate and win. But I'm still excited to see. Next week they play the Falcons. That'll be much more of a test than the Bears were.
We didn't even really talk about the Falcons. Bijan Robinson's a guy.
Yeah,
congratulations to the Falcons. Artie Smith's hilarious.
Yep.
Love him.
Absolutely hilarious. Bryce Young continues the trend of number 1 overall picks not being able to do what they do in their first game. Frank Reich made some decisions that Frank Reich has made.
That's right.
Does he still hate field goals?
Yeah, well,
turns out
first drive of the game, I think it was.
The timing in which they fail for him.
Yeah.
Like other coaches go for it on 4th, and it seems to work out for them, and it's an energizer to the entire locker room where they're like, you know what, our guy believes in us. Our guy has faith in us. Frank does it, and when he was doing it with the Colts, it never worked out. It actually went the other way, and here we are, first week with the Panthers, going for it on 4th, could just kicked it. Instead, we got 0 points. It's going the other way. So Artie Smith appreciated that. His mustache looked awesome.
Yep. So good.
But to your point, defense are going to be good.
Yeah.
They're going to play a tough brand of football. Not that the Bears aren't or didn't or don't have the chance to for the next 16 games. Although they might really suck, Zito.
There's a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if that happens, we have 2 first overall picks, baby. So let's go.
Oh, yeah, rebuild.
Nice.
Just get one
Already
more
looking to the
quarterback,
draft?
you never know.
Had the number 1 overall pick last year. Now we got 2 number 1s.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a good spot, better than last year. I love that Jordan Love's performance was so damn good that Brett Favre said, I got to get on X and put a tweet out.
For sure.
That was incredible.
You know what I mean? I got to show my respects to this guy. And he gave a toast. Did you see it, AJ? He said, Jordan Love, here's to you, pal,
Yep.
pretty much, into a long career and successes. And he didn't put cheers at the end, but we knew he had a nice glass of whiskey in those Wranglers in the back of an F-150, drawing up lawsuits saying, you know what, Jordan Love, you're a dog.
Yep.
Congrats to the Packers being able to figure it out, and congrats to Gutenkoots.
Yep.
Seemingly getting it right.
Yeah.
A lot of football left. We'll see how it ends up. Let's go to another overreaction here. This is from BJ Mangrich, BJ Mang 5. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Miami Dolphins offense is going to put up historic numbers as long as Jiu-Jitsu Tua can stay healthy. Tua will break all of Dan Marino's single-season passing records, and Tyreek Hill will be the first player with over 2,000 yards in a season. Now, obviously, that'll have an asterisk because there's 17 games as opposed to 16 games. And let's not worry about Dan Marino's single-season passing records. Let's think about the entire NFL's passing records. He put for 466. I think in the end it would be 7,922 yards if he was able to do this. Would be 2,000 better than the current NFL record. Gumpy, we're breaking all these records this year, pal?
100%. Tua's happy. He's confident. And a big thing people don't talk about, McDaniel last year went from run game coordinator to head coach and calling plays. Like, he wasn't an OC before, so I think he seemed a little more comfortable yesterday, too.
Film junkie, I'm sure he's watched a lot of their games back from last offseason. Seemed to be all negative news coming out of Miami.
Oh, yeah.
All negative
Constantly.
news. Negative, 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 negative.
Oh, great craft, too.
Dude, Austin Jackson.
How about
who was
Agent Zero?
Yeah, Agent.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
I tried to warn you about Agent Zero, D, but
You did.
Austin
You did.
Jackson was a first-round pick, O-lineman, 18th overall, has looked like cheeks. He was unbelievable yesterday. Like, Tua not getting sacked without Armstead is so huge.
Huge. Hopefully everybody's able to remain healthy, and I'm excited that the NFL gets a chance to watch that every single day. They say the greatest show on turf back in the day was St. Louis.
Yep.
This, watching Miami, it's just a track meet.
Yeah.
It is
absurd.
And the Chargers were able to keep up.
Yeah.
Until they weren't.
Right.
Vic Fangio put the hammer down at the end. Hopefully that'll be a sign of things to come from Miami as well. Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? Let's go to Jay Urbo at Nicholas 15. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But Brandon Staley's defense has been the worst thing in football for 3 years straight. Finally got his guys and system in place, huh? Review Sunday's game film. Yup, still easily the worst. We are wasting another amazing quarterback's career. No Kyle Van Noy this year. I just learned he was a free agent through a tweet he put on X that he's still doing his thing. You still got Khalil Mack. You got Derwin James over there.
Bosa.
You got Bosa, Jackson.
Asante Samuel Jr.
Got a lot of that. Why do they stink? Or is it just, hey, this Dolphins offense is going to be able to do this against whoever?
I mean, a little bit of both, I guess, but you're right. Think of your edge rushers and Bosa and Khalil Mack, and then all three levels, they have players. I don't know. I think it's, I give credit to the Dolphins offense, obviously, but the Chargers, if they want to win, they can't be in shootouts every single week. We know that. Herbert is very capable of doing that, but it's not a great recipe for sustained success.
Why does their defense stink, D? Are they making bad decisions or what?
No clue, but Staley got this job because he kind of came out of nowhere and was a defensive guru doing some great things, got the jobs, you got the pieces. So it is a head scratcher why they aren't producing. It's crazy to see, actually, especially those names, these contracts. Can't waste this guy Herbert's prime at all.
Yeah, well, it will be. I mean, if Staley is the head coach, we've talked about this. I mean, from jump, really, there's something off, and then these last couple of years, it's been like, okay, and then not even to mention 2 years ago when the Raiders were like, yeah, we're going to tie this game, and we're both going to go to the playoffs. And then Brandon Staley said, you know what, time out. You guys better
Make the kick.
Yeah. run a fucking field goal now and kick us out of the entire playoffs. So he's just got to go. Unfortunately,
he called a timeout at the end of the half yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
that was
16
the
seconds
reason
left.
why the Dolphins got the 3 points before half.
Herbert
Could have let the clock run out and and finish the half.
Was it him? I thought it was the Dolphins that called the timeout because it would have made no sense that Staley did because Herbert actually slid inbounds to keep the
I
clock
think it was
running.
the Dolphins.
It was the Dolphins,
but
yeah.
it was originally being broadcasted as Staley calling it though, and people it would have made sense.
Yeah.
because it would have been Staley and it would have been like, all right,
That's on par.
I enjoy the way he coaches, the way he operates, and everything.
All right, last 2 games. Stephen A. said it. 28 zip, come back,
27.
and now this. Or 27 zip, come back, and now this to open the season.
Yeah, well, speaking of 28, you saw what happens with Matt Ryan, the guy dropping a 28-3 in his face.
I
And,
did.
and Matt Ryan was not happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan should have told that guy, like,
Yes.
you can't pick up a football and do anything. Why don't you just talk and shut up? You're lucky I'm in the booth with you. But I appreciate old buddy bringing up the obvious, you know? Hey, there's an elephant in this booth right now. I don't know if we did any of this in rehearsal, but I'm going to do it right now to you. Matt Ryan's going to be good on TV.
Yes, absolutely.
Not good as a Colt. Not good as a Colt.
No, he was good last year on CBS.
Yeah, during the kickoff show. Who's on? J.J. Watt was on a kickoff show.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? There's another guy. He was on NFL Network's kickoff show.
Bucs,
Gerald
McCoy.
McCoy.
I appreciate them making a change, but also, I mean, I didn't get to hear it. I love that NFL kickoff show, the NFL Network's kickoff show.
Yeah.
So when I saw somebody different on there, I was like,
Yeah.
that's a big decision. He's gonna. Yeah, I'm sure he's great.
It's good to see Irv back.
Hell yeah.
Was.
That was great. Tonight's going to be awesome.
It was good to see Irvin.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Playmaker. Fort Lauderdale legend.
TV legend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What a
Legend.
situation
Crazy.
that happened, and then all of a sudden he wasn't like hireable. People were saying,
Yeah.
Did we all see the same video? Is there more than what we have seen?
Uh-huh.
And they're like, no, that's it. That's it. Pretty much. It's like this guy got bamboozled.
I
This guy got absolutely railroaded.
Fuck.
I think they finally settled it too. Either
Yeah.
like the night before, or early that morning. Like it was almost up in the as to whether or not he was going to be on Sunday morning. Like they got it done at like the 25th hour.
Welcome back, Mike. Great to see. He's also an undisputed every
He was
single
coaching the
morning
Wideouts on Saturday.
at Colorado. Yeah, he's on the sideline there.
Great
Hey,
speech.
that speech.
It was awesome.
Yeah, he's a speaker.
He's a good talker.
Yeah. Very good pump-up speech.
All right, let's go to another overreaction. Let's go to William H. at Bronco Billy Barbecue 7. Hashtag I don't overreact, but 3 words, same fucking Broncos, same fucking Russ. Fire George Payton, who's the GM. First game
A lot of these.
with the first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot of them. Yeah.
People not happy with Russ still being their quarterback.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's just like that. He's just the easy target now. They only scored 16 points. They lost again. So, like, yeah, the majority of these, like, I didn't see anything about Sean Payton or anything about maybe like a few, like, this is going to be a bottom 10 defense this year, but most of it was like, Russ still fucking sucks. Who are we kidding?
See, I give him a couple weeks at least. Last year we were talking about growing pains with the new offense, and it turns out there was pains, but there was no growth.
No.
It was just pains. We're terrible. We suck all year. With Sean Payton, I think we should at least give a little bit of a leeway here to see what adjustments they make. Sean learns Russ, too, just as much as Russ is learning the offense. I got faith in them over there for the time being, but I can see how Broncos fans are about sick of the Mr. Unlimited experience, AJ.
Yeah, they are, but they better get used to it. I mean, Russ isn't going anywhere anytime soon, is he?
Well,
people say
How?
Well, they brought in Stidham, so he might just be going to the bench, and they'll start Stidham. But if that guy actually thinks that that's same old Russ, then he should go back and watch last year because he was so much better than he was.
Yes, it's not the same old Russ. It's a better Russ. Now, is it the old Russ from back in Seattle? I don't think so, but maybe it'll become that again if, the Sean Payton offense starts catching a little bit more. Tough loss in the division to the Raiders, though.
Yeah.
Tough, without Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
And he said he was ready.
Jimmy G to Devontae look good.
Jacoby Myers.
That too.
Jimmy G looked very good.
What'd you say about Jacoby Myers this morning?
Jacoby Myers got his head knocked off. I think it was the first or second quarter, completely froze up,
yeah.
a la Tua against the Bengals
scary.
last year. And he got to the sideline. Josh McDaniels said, put your helmet on, son. You're going back out there. We need you to play football.
And he did.
He did.
Which we didn't think was possible because especially with cameras everywhere and what happened last year with Tua and the re-administration of the unaffiliated neuro consultant.
Yes.
Which is the UNC, which is what everybody talks about. There was an UNC fired in Miami for the line of questioning he gave Tua and didn't get the right answer, allegedly, even though Tua says it was a back thing. And then the UNC thing happens. He gets fired. This UNC in Las Vegas, it's an interesting because it has come out now that Jacoby Myers is in the concussion protocol.
Bingo.
When seemingly everybody watching the game, there's a concussion right there.
Yeah, he's
but it
not
slipped by the cracks of TV, NFL office, and Unk somehow.
Yeah, and it definitely didn't just because everyone saw it. So I don't know what the conversation was on the sideline. Jacoby Myers has had concussions before while he was with New England. I'm really not sure what the Unk does anymore just because it seems simple. Like, oh, okay, if some guy is locked up like that, clearly he can't go back out there and play.
Yeah, but guys lie all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stingers
Absolutely.
and those type of things.
Do our job.
For sure. But you would think because of everything you just said with how much more of a focus it is and how there are spotters all around every stadium that it probably wouldn't happen. But here we are.
Let's go to another overreaction here. This is from Jason Queener at @JQueener. Hashtag I don't overreact, but the Jaguars had everything that could go wrong and still beat a division opponent on the road by 2 scores with me. Yeah. All right. Is it time to start planning the boat parade in Jacksonville? I like them. I like him a lot.
Very good.
Calvin Ridley is running at a different speed than everybody else on the field. I don't know what he is next to Tyreek Hill or any of these other Blazers, but Calvin Ridley, in and out of his breaks, amazing.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence's chemistry with Calvin Ridley, already there. He is a difference maker on the offensive side of the ball. He changes the math. Trevor Lawrence seemed to be in control and in poise at all times, even whenever they were down to the Indianapolis Colts, which happened late in the game. Doug Peterson's got the moxie rolling. I very much like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like them more after watching them yesterday, but I was pumped that the Colts were
Right
even
there.
in this thing.
ETN looked good too, right?
That
ETN.
block by ETN right there. They're going to show that in the team meeting over and over.
Oh, yeah.
This is what we do.
He runs hard too for not a.
He's
huge
so
dude.
fast.
He's so good.
Yeah, he gets from 0 to full speed before he gets to the line of scrimmage. He runs.
Ingram made some plays.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones had a sick touchdown.
Jones played
Yeah,
great.
Tank Bigsby, even their backup running back.
So they pushed him 6 yards.
Yeah.
Did you see it? It was down by the goal line.
For the first down.
We had him tackled for a loss on a 3rd down.
Yeah.
They could still get a first down and a touchdown. And Tank literally, I don't know if he keeps driving his legs or if he gets picked up and just moved 4 yards for a first down and then boom, another touchdown immediately afterwards. It's like Jacksonville's going to be good.
Yep.
Jacksonville's going to be very good, which makes me believe that the Colts might be a very good football team as well.
Colts defense looked a lot better yesterday too. Like the electricity was back on their side of the ball.
Zaire Franklin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very
Buckner,
good.
Buckner was in his bag yesterday.
Touchdown for Buckner,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
A lot of horsepower.
Shaq Leonard, there you go. A lot of horsepower,
How'd he
a lot
look?
of ponies under hood. He was moving, dancing, celebrating. I think he made some plays.
I mean, they gave up 31 points. I don't know why we're doing this right now.
Yeah.
Jags are supposed to be a top team.
But
in the
okay.
AFC.
But okay.
It's just the energy. Felt good. Felt like there was good vibes on the
There was
defensive
good
level.
energy.
It
A lot
was-
of moral victories.
Yeah,
a lot of
there you
moral
go.
victories on week 1. Huh?
Yesterday was a moral victory. Yes.
Yeah.
We're looking for that.
Yeah.
Because last year, you know how many moral victories there were? 0. There was 0 moral victories. There was actually no morale last year. It was actually thinking about booing them while they were coming out the tunnel because they knew they were going to figure out a new way to fuck this game up and be more boring than they were a week beforehand. Now we got Anthony running. First time he runs, he gets hit and he gets hurt. It's like, oh no. Then he gets back up.
Well.
Makes a play. Michael Pittman Jr., what's that?
He popped right back up, right?
Yeah, he was lumbering. It took him a little bit. It was certainly a worry.
Yeah.
It was certainly a worry.
Peeling himself up.
Don't love that he had a pick too late in the game whenever we were only down 1 score. Like that's a moment that you need it. But I think
Moral
it was
victories.
Moral victory.
Even I took some from the Niners
lot of hope.
Steelers game.
There was none in
Yeah,
the
huh?
game.
Nothing to take from
They
that.
Yeah, I took a couple too.
They blocked the shit out of Bosa. He didn't do shit.
Well, he was just on a plane.
Oh, but you guys said he was going to get 4 sacks.
Oh, did TJ?
Yeah, 3.
Oh, not 4. Wow.
He was. There's another one. TJ's still.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Presley
TJ's
Harvin looked great, bombing the ball.
Okay, I like that.
Go.
TJ Watt looked great. Had
See, we're back, baby.
3 sacks the first game. 3 sacks. What was this?
2 forced fumbles.
2 forced fumbles, 1 recovered, right?
Yeah, behind his back.
Look at that. They lose by 50.
Oh,
Jesus.
TJ Watt has 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. You lose by 50. That's when you know it's a bad day.
Yeah.
Yep.
TJ, what are we paying him if he gets the sack record?
Oh, boy. I don't know, but
man.
it's a lot.
He needs to relax, dude.
Yeah, it might have been $1 million.
No, watch your mouth.
I actually do think that's what you said.
No.
But
I think it was
250.
Something
I think it
was
half.
500K.
I think it was half a schmil.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
500?
Oh yeah.
500K.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's he going to get?
such an
23? What is
asshole.
it?
Yeah, you got to break the record.
23.
Yep.
He only needs 20 more. Seems easy. He's getting 3 sacks in games they're losing by 37 points.
Against a very good O-line.
Tell you what, Brock Purdy's very good.
He is.
He makes the right decision every time, accurate every single time.
Doesn't get rattled.
Even keel.
And TJ still got him 3 times.
Yeah.
Ayuk has really found it feels like, too.
Oh, don't look at me. That was your decision.
No, you're running the team.
Yes, it was.
Oh, did someone?
You said you wanted to play Odell. I said, are
Oh,
you sure?
Oh,
You want me?
Odell
The
over
only
Ayuk.
guy that you tell me you want to play is OBJ.
What, we're only allowed 1 wide receiver up there?
No, the other guys you wanted to keep in there.
No, I don't think I was given.
We had this conversation as a group
Odell
on
Beckham
Thursday.
Jr. or Ayuk, I think, is how this was.
No,
like,
that is-
give me Odell. I don't know Odell, obviously.
Yeah.
Who's the other wide receiver?
Odell had a catch.
The other.
One, yeah, he did.
I think.
Don't you have like
Garrett
3
Wilson
receivers?
Garrett
Wilson, he's
who's
still got
Oh, so you're good.
Got not tonight.
Garrett Wilson tonight, and you have Dalton Kincaid tonight as well.
See, I don't trust us anymore in our fantasy team.
Well, I mean, Joe Burrow had 3 points, so even if Ayuk was in, we were not going to win.
Joe,
Yeah.
killing my team.
Yeah.
How'd the other team do? Do we see?
I'm not sure. I don't think any team did that well. There are a lot of low scoring performers this weekend
That'd
across
be a
the board.
shitty fantasy week.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for those who had a
Tyreek,
couple
Tua.
people.
Yeah. Tua, Tyreek, Ayuk.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the 3.
Cowboys
Calvin
defense.
Ridley,
Cowboys defense.
And special teams.
Aaron Jones did awesome.
Aaron Jones.
Let's go to the last overreaction before we get out of here. My overreaction is that I hate fantasy football.
I don't think that's an overreaction.
Already.
Scott Bundy, yeah, Bruce, we don't have 15 minutes for you for well, actually. Okay, Bruce, you get 3 minutes of well, actually.
If the Giants score a point next week, we can bring back well, actually.
I don't. Zito just said Bruce actually has a pretty loaded well, actually. We don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, Bruce, we're not here for a
Thank you, though.
20-minute sermon.
Well, actually, we
okay?
can't stop the
This
show.
is a
I got a
three-
preload.
You trim it down.
This is a 3-minute segment, pal.
Fucking guy.
We weren't able to do it because Stephen A. was on, but
Yeah,
geez,
Bruce was like, hey, can we hang up on Stephen A. around like 1:45?
Let's go to the last overreaction here. Scott Bundy. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
SM
Ted's
Bundy.
son.
Hashtag I don't want to. Al.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Al.
he's
Jeez, not
You
Ted.
scumbag.
Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but didn't use the proper hashtag, but we will move forward. The Cowboys will win the Super Bowl despite the person currently starting at quarterback.
Jeez.
Okay, Scott Bundy's echoing the sentiments of Stephen A. Smith. Everybody's still doubting Dak. They get a massive win. He'll have to prove himself all season because they'll be on prime time all season. All right, now it's time to wrap up this incredible show with a 30-minute monologue from the man who will host Well Actually, Bruce Brown.
I think we can get through them pretty quick.
Oh, I'm happy you think
find
that. I'm happy you think that.
So, Connor, you said Brady will be inducted into the Hall of Fame on June 18th. Well, actually, June 12th.
Oh!
That's
We
a
did
good one.
need that.
That's
We
a
did
good
need
one.
that. That's good.
Pat, you said Miami has a jungle cat at wide receiver. Well, actually, the cheetah prefers the sub-Sahara savanna.
Oh!
And do not exist. in
The
Savannah.
safari
It's a plains
cat.
animal.
They are safari cat.
Okay.
You also said Shadur's nickname was Old Man. You were kind of looking for that one. Well, actually, Dion calls him Grown.
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 Has
Okay.
called
There
him
it is.
Grown
All
since
right.
grade school. Kind of a real one here. There was a conversation. Chase Young is dealing with a lingering knee injury.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he's out with a neck injury. His brace was off at camp, and reports are that he's looking springy.
Neck brace?
What?
He has a
Good
neck
news for
brace?
us.
He's got like a neck. He's got like a neck stinger or something.
Get out there.
Neck
We were
brace?
so serious. We were talking about microfractures.
Yeah.
We speculated
Yeah.
for 12 minutes.
I'm talking about his body just being built different and doctors not.
Yeah, you're right.
Should have led with
We had a
that.
whole C block on that.
Yeah. See, like I said, we could probably cut some of these out.
No, that one needed. That one
And then,
needed one.
Pat, you said Mike Westhoff was special teams coordinator. Well, actually, he's now assistant head coach on year 32
Wow.
in the NFL.
Former special teams guy.
Yeah,
Former special teams
Probably
guy.
also the special teams coach, though, right?
Well, actually.
Well, actually, they do have a special teams coach. His name is Ben Kotwika.
Oh, he's a guy.
Nailed that.
He's a good coach.
Kotwika. Is he a noose?
No. Last one. This was a late one. Connor and Tony, you both kind of said that Jacoby Myers returned to play.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, actually, it was late in the fourth quarter. He did not come back into the game.
Thank you, Bruce.
Boy.
Made us better, Bruce.
Got her in the second.
All right,
We
that
need
was
all
awesome.
those.
Yeah, we did. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just the phrasing of pretty deep one here.
Yeah.
Just not.
It did take 3 minutes.
Not a good start. That was less than.
I enjoy that segment.
Yeah, that's great. We learned how stupid.
Oh.
Well, actually,
Boy. Nice. Oh.
that one was supposed to go in.
Both of those.
No, that second one felt really smooth.
This one's going in. This one goes in. Who's winning tonight?
Jets. Bills.
You guys said 2
Let's
different
make our picks. Who you got
Jets.
tonight?
Jets.
Minus or +2?
Yeah. I like them
Money
straight
line.
up. I like them straight up. Yeah.
AJ.
Jets.
Jets, Bills.
Straight up Jets. Yes.
I don't like this.
AJ, you were just talking about how much you love the Bills are flying under the radar.
I do. Like I said, they're in a great spot.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't go against Aaron. He won't get.
They're playing the Jets on Monday night.
Buck, there we go. Good shot.
I said to myself, Jets, if that goes in.
Okay.
Really?
So I'm picking the Jets as well. We got Aaron Rodgers Tuesday tomorrow. Obviously, that's going to happen.
Got to do it.
Can't wait to watch the debut of the new New York Jets.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see what this Buffalo Bills team is after being under the radar.
Yeah, a little surprising.
There's a chance that there's a buzzsaw coming into MetLife Stadium, and it's a team that has been very deep into the AFC playoffs numerous times, have become the kings of the AFC East, and have no chatter about them. But also, you can only make a first impression one time. And what Aaron's going to do for these New York Jets fans tonight, I think, is going to be electrifying. Yeah. So give me the Jets. Darius likes them. You do as well. We'll be back tomorrow with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. I believe we also have... oh, never mind. Somebody might just backed out.
Put him on blast. Who is it?
What do we do? No, don't do that. I don't know who it was, but don't do it.
We had some other people we were looking into.
You asked earlier who was QB3.
What's that?
Just saw Mel Kiper's big board just pop up.
Oh.
Shador Sanders.
Okay.
Really?
Still got Caleb outright one.
Drake, May, Shador, and then Quinn Ewers.
And then the Duke kid?
Nah, probably Penix.
Because the Duke kid was 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it came up before the Duke primetime game.
They're all good, I think. This is a good class.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that means draft conversation is going to be fun because it's quarterback.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Need that.
No offense to every other position, but boy, it's a lot easier to talk about everybody that's quarterbacks as opposed to that.
Yeah.
What does our draft spectacular look like? Matt, that's so far away.
Yeah.
We'll still be happening. I think we're going to be live at the draft.
That'll be sweet.
That'd be sweet.
Detroit.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's the worst part about it. But
Great.
That'll be our live show.
So we'll do it out of Thunderdome.
Yeah, stick here.
Do it out of Thunderdome.
Yeah.
definitely smart.
Come on.
If one of these goes in, Fox, you know how the universe works. If one of these goes in, we'll go up there.
Yep.
Please, no.
Wow.
Detroit already disappointed us once.
Last one here. Ready?
All right. All right. What was that?
Goddamn thing slipped. What do you mean? Pressure.
You lifted arms this morning.
Backside pressure.
There's only one person that get us to Detroit, and he let us down this weekend.
Who's that?
Yes, he did.
You know who it was.
Dun, 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 dun. Zito has an update that man said he would come on the show anytime.
Boom.
Let's see it.
But this weekend we thought, just so everybody knows, for the MegaCast, there was not a lot of preparation, obviously. You watched it. You know that happened. But we were given names of who's going to be on the sideline just like a day beforehand or whatever. They go, Matthew McConaughey is going to be there. We want to talk to him. We're like, absolutely.
For sure.
Glenn Powell's going to be there. They go, Hangman. I go, yep.
Boom.
Give me Hangman, save the world, obviously. And then they slid in Kid Rock also going to be there. And I was like, whoa, don't bury the lead here. Yes. Kid Rock's going to be on the sideline. Like, yeah, he should be walking around, have a good time. It's like, we would like to talk to Kid Rock because we've done a couple of these MegaCasts. I'll tell you what. Second half, normally we get a little tired, a little bit bored. So we're thinking about just starting to sing with Kid Rock and making him, sing with us.
Right.
What a moment that would have been.
Oh,
ESPN 2, Texas Bama.
Yes.
Ball with the ball, the bang,
my
the dang,
God.
diggy, diggy. It would have been fun.
Yeah.
But he's not on the show tomorrow either. So ball didn't go in, so I don't think we'll be going to Detroit for the Draft Spectacular.
good
We
news,
will be
though.
doing a show up there, though, because we owe, what's the name of that blog?
Woodward Sports.
And also TJ Lang, charity of his choice, we'll be raising money for. Don't know if it'll be the Draft Spectacular, though. What's going on up there in Michigan?
Wow.
What happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Michigan State people don't like having anything that they've been certainly a part of brought up, and they try to silence journalists who bring things up. But
Oh, yeah.
what's going on? Something.
It seems as if we hired a dipshit at head coach.
All right.
Well, that's one way to describe it, though, because I don't want the people to be confused here. He's not a dipshit. He's a pervert weirdo.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Allegedly.
Well, actually, no.
Because they fired him, I guess, with their investigation.
Yeah,
so.
admittedly pervert weirdo.
Yeah, but allegedly couldn't keep his penis in his slacks.
Gumpy, please.
I thought
talk about something serious here. This is serious.
I thought that was confirmed.
Why is Michigan State, though, seemingly in the middle of everything that is just like terrible?
I don't know. It's a great question. Everyone from East Lansing or Michigan or went to Michigan State is asking
Perverts.
the same thing. It's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not cool.
But Mark D'Antonio's back. Who's the GOAT?
Okay, well, good luck to Michigan State as they recover from another scandal that has brought us to a point in society where we go, how is this happening? Why is this happening?
How?
And hopefully we move forward without this happening. Remember, today could be the day that we decide to not make idiotic decisions going forward.
Yep.
Hands in. Let's do that, everybody. Please, even at home, please put your hands in. Hey, we're not doing dumb stuff anymore, all right?
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
We do know about Pac-Man Jones and what happened to him this morning. We are obviously gathering information. He's still very much a part of our family. He did great things for us this offseason. We're very lucky for that. But what's coming out this morning is obviously alarming. Don't love that happens. Anytime somebody ends up in jail because of a situation, you have to assume that something took place. We believe that there will be two sides of the story, as in every situation, but this is not good, and we will do everything we possibly can to help Pac-Man Jones to get the best version of himself, which will hopefully be very soon. But it was 20 minutes before we went live, we looked at our phones and thought it was a fake article that he had been arrested. Then he did an interview with the news afterwards, which I don't think was necessarily the most couth-filled thing. And then there's been other videos that have happened since then. I assume he has a reasoning on why this took place, but it is not good for this type of distraction and situation to arise, especially with football season starting. We will look into it, I promise you, and be as big as a teammate as we possibly can. But also, at some point, people have to decide not to make dumb decisions anymore and realize that there potentially can be ripple effects to poor decisions. So that's where we stand. We will be back tomorrow, and hopefully this show will be better than ever.
Oh, yeah.
I think tomorrow's a big day.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Huge day.
Season debut.
Monday Night Football tonight.
Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, season 4.
Yeah.
Reacting to Bills Jets.
Come on.
Yeah.
Look ahead to week 2.
Here we go.
Big conversations and obviously ridiculous takes. We appreciate you all so much. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Goodbye.